This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons, like Omejicat Comet, Saray Cypher, Hans Grenade, Anna Ginterrace, Bob Cece, Faris Gentoru, Cletus Oreo, Luke Leonatrell, Salpa Chakwatol, Courtney, Circa Barakeel, Casey Schaefer, Lily Black, Chaitan, Chesha Saltiri, Erisu Yamakawa, Sisirful Lirifu, Daimos, Nina Grimstadter, Asuta Starbreeze, Quick Levin, Sayori Snowfall, Eagle the Dragon, Wana Nitsa, Miscellaneous Cargo, Duke Jarlsberg, Stella Bell, Yurnthota Aurora, Boogie Bear, Remy Asalia, Ceres, Icy Lee, Lyria Rain, C&G Lipscomb, Dalamud Papodo, Kaiser Regina, and Umbral Wind. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/speakersxiv. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 151. I'm Lukiel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Rolodes, Georgi Wiston, and Melavanadar.
I didn't see the socks earlier. No, I just saw.
Don't
point it out,
don't point them out.
I'm sorry. It just caught me by surprise.
This is chandelier.
Let's see. Welcome, everyone. We are back again. Let's see. In another spoiler-free episode. I know, another week of no spoilers. But next week, we will be discussing spoilers. So hang in there. In this episode, though, we will continue our spoiler-free first impressions review. And we'll talk about we'll discuss the trials, the dungeons, not the end game ones, and some gear and some stuff. So we'll finish that part, and then next week we will do the spoiler part of the review, which is the MSQ and the story, the lore, everything. Also, our second story is a Yoshi-P interview with DualShockers. One of the topics in that one is about 14's graphics and whether or not they are planning to upgrade the visuals. I feel like we keep touching on that topic in interviews now, but he does mention it more specifically now. There are more specifics in this now in this interview, so we'll talk about that as well. And believe it or not, we're gonna read Mogmail today.
Wow.
It's been a while, but yeah, today's the day. However, unfortunately, a lot of the Mogmail that we've been receiving contains spoilers, so we won't read those today. We won't read those. Was that a Windows sound? Sorry. We won't read those today, but we will read the non-spoiler ones. Stay tuned for the post-show if you're watching live, because we will be... right before we went on air, we might have planned to do comments of the week, but we don't know if it's happening or not. So stay tuned for that. What a thrilling... That's exciting. Are we going to do comments of the week, or will I end up with a waffle on my head again? Who knows? Stay tuned.
Those are the days.
Let's just jump into recent events. And we have more updates on the Metacritic side of Shadowbringers, because not the final score, but the overall score is now out, and it has ended up at 92.
Hooray!
Wow.
Yay!
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
9.2.
Yeah, it's really high.
Yeah.
Too much water.
Yeah, user score is 9.2 as well. So, I mean, they match, which is absurd. Very good for a game, an MMO's third expansion. And considering what we've been through, just as a refresher, 1.0 had 49 points with a user score of 4.0.
Deserved,
yeah.
to say the least.
It is quite interesting because before we went on here, I just looked at the user reviews because I don't know if I mentioned this in. I didn't mention this in Fall on Rise because I didn't wanna. I didn't want to like put certain gaming outlets in a bad light. But there were rumors going around at the time that some publications were giving higher scores than they would have because they might have been paid or influenced by Square Enix or something. And it's funny to see those today because some of them are still linked on Metacritic and almost all of them are taken down. But the user score
doesn't even exist anymore.
Right, yeah. User scores are interesting though because there's like 2 or 3 10s in the user score for 1.0 and all of them mention 11. So I feel like the ones that gave it a good score were 11 players that were like, I guess it's better than 11 a little bit. So, yay, a 10. Yeah. So 1.0 had 49 with a user score of 4.0. A Realm Reborn starting strong with 83, but only a 7.1 user score. But I'm assuming that is because of.
It's probably 1.0 remnants.
Well, there's that, but also A Realm Reborn was a very empty game. Like, A Realm Reborn was a success. It was a great achievement, but it was essentially a very... It lacked a lot of important stuff. Remember, it didn't launch with, like, a duty finder, right?
No, that's true.
So, it did launch with a duty finder.
I mean, it did launch with a duty finder.
I'm thinking about 1.0. Party finder is what I'm thinking about. It didn't launch with a party finder. There was a lot of stuff that was missing at launch, and that might have influenced the user score. Heavensward got 86 with a user score of 8.4, which is good, and Stormblood got 87, one more than Heavensward, but with a user score of 8.2. So the users liked Heavensward more than Stormblood, but the critics liked Heavensward more than. Stormblood more than Heavensward.
I think the user scores went down a lot for Stormblood because of the price changes that happened for South America or Brazil, Russia, I think, and some Eastern European countries. Because Stormblood got review bombed on Steam, if you remember that.
That's true, but but Steam reviews don't really impact Metacritic, though, does it?
They don't, but I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if some of that got over to Metacritic.
Yeah.
I also think that user scores for Stormblood may have gone down with time, whereas Heavensward one might have gone up with time.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah. It is still incredibly impressive, though. 9.2 user score, 92 critic score for a game that's now... How old is it?
Almost
if we don't...
10?
Well, yeah, if you count 1.0, we're like on the 9th year.
9.
Oh, 6, isn't it? 6 or 7?
It's 6.
A Realm Reborn is 6 years old this year.
We celebrated the 5th year anniversary last year, so it should be 6.
Yeah. Congratulations, everyone. We won.
All right. What did we win?
More pressure for the next expansion, though. Like, how the fuck are you going to top this one?
The next one's supposed to end it.
Yeah. Well, is it?
Yeah.
Do we know
the
that?
next one's pretty...
Well, they keep saying that, like, the next one's probably the end of, like, the Garlemald storyline.
That was the Ascian thing.
Wasn't it the Ascian storyline that's going to end?
The Ascian arc.
The Ascian, or the 1.0 arc will end with the next one.
Yeah.
Which we've probably got to be honest, after that ends, it's going to be very, very scary whether or not they can keep it up or if that's the end.
I think that would be a little refreshing too.
It would be refreshing, but it depends what direction they go in.
Yeah.
I think there are some story threads that they could lead into something new.
Just let Ishikawa keep writing. She's doing good.
Yeah,
she's good.
Okay. Moving on to a news that no one cares about, but we'll talk about some people. There's a Domino's promo going on in Australia right now. Take it away, Gary.
Yeah. Okay, so in Australia, you can get a deal for 3 large pizzas, a garlic bread, 1.25 litre drink, and a copy of Final Fantasy 14 Online Complete Edition for $53.95 if you pick it up, or $59.95 if you go to get it if you get it delivered. That's a really good deal.
Yeah,
it's going to be the most
like
bizarre thing we've said.
That's like $130 worth of value for $60 or $54
for some American friends.
Whiston 10% off.
Like $53 Australian dollars equals $237 US dollars. By the way,
so that is a really good deal.
Yeah. No, 37.
Oh, 37. God, 37.
So
yeah,
that's like.
A bit for a second too.
I mean, you get to eat for like a week if you just buy that for yourself. So
I think our large pizzas are not the size you expect them to be.
Yeah.
Rollo.
What the fuck? I'm always disappointed in you foreign countries and your tiny food sizes. I'm pissed off.
How big is your smalls, Rollo?
Like the size of a house.
I think they're like 12 inches, I think. 11.
Ooh.
Small?
I might be wrong. I don't remember the size of a pizza. You know what? I'm gonna do some research right now. Let's check Domino's.
Wow. This is devolving rapidly.
Yeah.
No.
This is a podcast. We can't. This is not the Friday hangout. We can't sit here and Google fucking pizza sizes in America. You need
to be 18 years old to be valid for this.
Why are you telling them that?
You have to be 18 years old to buy pizza in Australia.
Well,
listen,
no, you need to be 18 years old to be valid to the Square Enix promo. You can buy
pizza is actually a Class C restricted substance in Australia.
Oh, you also need an Australian or European Square Enix account and a PC. It specifies you need a PC.
No PS4 copy for you.
Yeah.
Also, 10 inches for a small, 12 for a medium, 14 for a large, and 16
control
inches
them,
for an extra large.
Okay, thank you for that.
Is that in America?
Yes.
Okay, moving on. I just also weird to have garlic bread with pizza. That's a lot of gluten.
You're the only person that thinks that's weird.
No, it's not. I understand that it's a thing, but that's a lot of gluten.
That's a lot of bread.
That's a lot of bread.
That's a lot of bread. That's a lot of bread.
Also, Rollo, I think our largest are your medium.
It's not enough pizza to get through the entire game anyway.
No, it's not.
How do you guys survive?
Move on. We're going to the next. Is there anything else to say about the Australian Domino's promo other than the inches of a pizza?
No, I think that's about it. I don't know if there's anything. Oh, the Domino's is not responsible if you get hurt.
How many
That's Square Enix's fault.
How many garlic breads do you get?
One.
Okay. That's still a lot of gluten.
You get, right?
That is still a lot of gluten.
Well, I mean, you're not supposed to eat it by yourself. It's 3 pizzas.
No, this is
clearly you meant to eat it by yourself.
Okay.
This is like for a party or something. Oh.
What, are you gonna have a party while you play Shadowbringers alone?
Yeah,
this is for the lonely MMO gamers.
All your friends over, you get a copy of Shadowbringers.
Yeah, they don't.
And they watch you while they eat.
You make your friends pay for it. Like, hey, we should all chip in for a pizza from Domino's, right?
Oh, wow.
Okay, we need to go. Right, next official announcement from the Lodestone. There is a new screenshot contest out right now. Is it also for NA? Question.
Yes, they're different ones though.
Oh.
But they're different ones, but they have this. They're the same.
Yeah, it's the same, but they're separate.
Yeah, right. A hero becomes a villain as the Warrior of Light embraces the dark and embarks upon an adventure that transcends worlds. With new challenges awaiting adventurers on the new expansion Shadowbringers pushes what we have known so far to new boundaries. We want to know what this moment has been like for you and are therefore asking all of our adventurers to capture their journey from the Warrior of Light to the Warrior of Darkness in our latest screenshot contest. For where there is light, there is also shadow. So the theme is it's all about Shadowbringers. Capture how you embrace the dark as the Warrior of Light in-game with 2 screenshots. Entry period started on July 12th, so yesterday if you're watching this live, to the 26th, Friday the 26th. So make sure if you want to join, do it within that time period. So you capture a screenshot that follows the established theme and then submit your entry while following the instructions on the dedicated entry website. Be sure to include the following information. So you have to take 2 screenshots of your character, one following the theme of light and one following the theme of darkness, the Warrior of Darkness. You have to then include your character's name and world. And then you have to select one of the in-game prices to the info about the artwork cell. So, did they do that before?
You usually have to select what you want beforehand.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Really? I thought you got all of them.
No. In a lot of the old competitions, at least, you'd put in your entry, then you'd say, "If I win, please, sir, I would like the Gaily cap."
Okay.
Why would you want anything else but the Gaily cap?
That's a good. I mean, I can understand maybe the barding as well.
Yeah, the
Who
boarding
would pick
is nice.
the Scarf of Wondrous Wit now?
Yeah,
Absolutely no one.
That's a stupid thing to do. The Final Fantasy XIV community team will select 30 winners based on the quality of the screenshot, creativity, pose, lights, angles, colors, etc. And then the 30 winners will each receive one in-game item of their choice from the items below: a Gaily cap, Noble Barding, Mandragora choker, Ahriman choker, Bluebird earring, and Scarf of Wondrous Wit.
Bluebird earring.
Yeah. It is.
Imagine being able to see your ass.
It's like that's
It's
smaller.
like normal race.
It's a nice earring.
It's smaller than the Namasu earring.
Yeah.
So
I
don't know.
think Mikote are the best class for showing off earrings.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
And then here.
Yeah.
No, I would
If
say
you've got-
Nanellas.
I suppose they've got big
Oh,
triangle there, so
right. That's true.
Knife ears.
Yeah, knife ears.
knife ears.
You need to be over the age of 13 to enter.
Oh, so you can't get pizza, but you can submit screenshots. What is this?
You can still get a Bluebird earring, but you
You,
cannot
I
get a
just
pizza.
think Europe is just more progressive than
Yes,
Australia.
very
Yeah.
progressive.
How's that progressive? Have you guys
It's
ever
progressive in that they let children
Yeah,
become
enter
adults at a younger
competitions.
age.
I think you can be 13-year-old and buy a pizza in Norway.
Don't.
Why don't you fact check that, Lukiel?
I don't wanna. I don't need to. Okay, that is recent events. Let's move on to our spoiler-free first impressions review of Shadowbringers Part 2.
Yes.
Right. Let's just jump into this. So we're gonna have to make this spoiler-free because we're not doing spoilers until next week. Are we gonna not talk about the second trial listed here?
I guess not.
Okay.
I think we can say that.
Right. Let's talk about Titania. The most teased trial for any expansion ever. I think we had mostly seen the fight fully before the expansion even came out. What do you think of Titania, the king of the fairies? Oh, well, that's not a spoiler. That's just that's her title.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
They were a cool fight. It's one of the first trials. You got to ease your in, so that was a pretty decent one for that.
Yeah.
I didn't really get the tanking mechanics at first, honestly. I was a
Yeah.
little confused by it. But then when I saw it, like, I looked at it for a second while I was dead, and I was like, oh, okay, that's that. You gotta just tank her now. Music was amazing. By
Music
the way.
is
Yeah, the music's
top
great.
notch.
I feel like this one's a bit more divisive with the music. I
Yeah.
hear a lot of
Is
people,
it?
Yeah, I hear a lot of people are very for it or against it because it's very different from the usual kind of stuff I would say. But I think that's why I like it a lot.
Yeah. It's not what you would call like an epic track. It's more of a
It's just like a playful little
Yeah.
song that
Yeah.
fits.
It's very fitting.
It
thematic.
fits
Yeah.
Tanya's personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that case, surely you can't really.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
I
think
thought
it's great.
mechanically it was really cool though, and quite tricky. The ad phase got our group.
Ah, right.
Because
one-
it doesn't really guide you very well on which one, because they're all just plant people. Plant
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't
there's
give
no
you an
real
idea
order
of
or
what should be, what's the kill order.
Yeah.
And then they still do their abilities once they're dead anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like
yeah.
that.
Very AoE.
Well,
heavy.
that's once they grow. When
Once they
when
grow,
they're
yeah.
small, they don't continue to do mechanics
Yeah.
after they die.
hmm
But yeah, you think the ad phase is over once you kill them when when the 3 small plants are a lot dead, but then they grow bigger.
Yeah.
Bigger is better.
Sephiroth.
Did you find it weird that Titania, they weren't voiced at all?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they were, but not for the intro part. Sorry.
Yeah,
that was a bit jarring. It was
like,
weird having like a timed subtitle in the intro cutscene. I didn't really like that.
It almost makes me wonder if that was like an afterthought. They were like, oh, maybe she should have like some dialogue, and they just slapped that on because she's voiced. It's not like they didn't have a voice actress.
That's
for
true.
her.
They might have come up with the dialogue for the intro afterwards. And then just
but it's just totally silent though. Is the thing.
Oh yeah, it's just
no music. Just
you
see their face a little bit, and then that's it.
I liked the ads were named after characters from Midsummer's Night Dream.
Yeah, that was cool.
Were they? I didn't even notice that. Ah, nice. I liked the AoE. This is a weird thing, but I liked that there's like one AoE that's just like the roots that grow out.
You had to preempt where you should stand because they're bigger than you think.
Yeah. It's similar to the mechanic used by Miss Dragon in the Burn, except they stick around a bit longer.
Yeah.
And you can't walk into them.
They're very bad if you walk into them.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very bad if you walk into them, or you get caught in them, like I did once.
Yeah. They're pretty hard.
Yeah.
It's very funny to see people trapped inside of that AoE for some reason. It's just... I'm stuck. I saw this very slow AoE come up to me. I'm stuck.
Well,
yeah.
It's very slow.
It is very slow.
It is.
But that doesn't stop people getting hit by missiles, Rollo.
No, that's true.
Well, okay.
It makes the missiles harder.
They're fat. The missiles are fat. Deceptively fat.
Yeah, they are deceptively fat.
There's a slow moving line coming right at you.
Yeah.
With that mechanic where she makes the 4 water puddles and then the timer starts appearing around it, what happens if someone is not standing in one? Because I've never seen that.
I don't think anything. Does it?
An ad spawns.
Yeah, it's like a little like the like the queen bomb, like the fat bomb thing.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Okay.
I haven't seen that either. Huh.
And I've seen it a lot because for some reason people get scared of standing.
Okay. Because I just always saw the timers, but like I never saw anything activate from them, so I was just like, okay.
Huh. Interesting. Well,
I really like the phase transition, like not the phase, but the background transitions.
The background.
Oh
transition.
yeah, I forgot about that. I love that.
Their voice is really cute, by the way.
Yeah.
When they say,
I'm
we're
sick
stuck
of
in
this
this
musty castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel bad for them. Not to go into spoilers. But...
Yeah. Right. So let's compare it to the first trial of Stormblood.
Which was Susano?
No, not Ravana.
Susano.
Susano had similarly epic like phases and transitions though. He was a pretty cool, and it was a cool arena. It wasn't as good as this.
No, I don't.
But he was alright.
Very great.
I don't think either Ravana or Susano are as good as this.
Oh, Ravana.
I would say I like Susano more than Ravana. Not more than Titania, but it's more to do with like
his voice.
Susano. Well, I like Susano's voice.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's a strong voice.
Even like Alize at that point in the story is like, what the fuck, another primal.
Yeah.
It's very like, okay, we're doing this again.
Oh shit!
But
here we go
it's not
again.
like that with Titania. It's very
the primals in both Heavensward and Stormblood feel like they're there because they have to be there, whereas the trials in Shadowbringers feel more organic.
Yeah,
especially Lux. That one felt the most.
That one, yeah.
Oh, Lakshmi.
I think we all agree on that one. That feels so tacked on. Weird.
Because it's like you're about to go to the second part of the peaks, I think, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, oh
wait. There's these snake people. Yeah.
You forgot to do the primal. Come back.
Oh, painful.
Yeah. Right. We will not talk about any other trials. We will save that until next week. But yeah, Titania is a great first trial in the Shadowbringers, in my opinion. Okay, dungeons. Now we will cover the leveling dungeons, except for the last one and the level 80 dungeons.
We can just say their names, save for the last ones, right?
Yes, I think that is okay at this point because I think that's fine. Holminster Switch, yeah. At least this one is safe. At least Holminster Switch. The very first dungeon you get in Shadowbringers. It's like a settlement in Lakeland. Well,
yeah, just north of Lakeland.
Yeah,
like the outskirts.
We can't really talk about what's happening in it, but we can talk about the design of it. This is.
We can talk about that. There's a lot of Senators there because they've shown that off.
Yeah, of course we can talk about the Senators. I think it's a good dungeon, mostly because it ties in. There's shit. This is gonna be difficult.
It's hard.
This is hard. I think they managed to make it look very open. It feels very open at one point. There's like this massive area that you see, although of course it isn't.
Still just a straight line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think to me, this is my least favorite dungeon. There's one thing I like about it, and it's the second boss that we can't talk about. But the second, or is it the first? Oh, it might be the first. I assume,
it's the second boss.
It is the second boss. Yeah.
You don't want to talk about.
It's a good dungeon, but it's not. I don't like the colors. I think the colors are drab. I think it doesn't. I don't like it.
I feel as if there's a reason for the colors.
It is. It doesn't mean that it's
I liked
good.
them. It was just the purple Lakeland and then sort of.
It was a bit more green, like the north of Lakeland in general.
Yeah.
I didn't mind them that much. I thought it was decent. It was an okay introduction. It
Yeah.
was a good part of the story. You know, it really set the scene for what's happening.
Yeah.
I definitely liked seeing the Sin Eater transformations happen.
Yeah.
So you could just kind of like. I mean, you see some stuff, but seeing it in a dungeon was pretty. I like that as well.
Yeah.
Sin Eaters get birthed very quickly.
Yeah, they do. That's scary.
Big
yeah.
Angel egg.
Yeah. A feathery angel egg.
You crack it open, have a little angel.
Yeah. Delicious.
Angel, yes. How Angel Delight's made.
How do you think this compares to Dusk Vigil and Siren Song?
Better than Dusk Vigil.
It's better than Dusk Vigil.
Way better.
It's better than Dusk Vigil, I agree.
I
don't know if it's better than Siren Song.
No.
I'd say it's
I
worse
like
than
Siren Song's visuals quite a lot.
Yeah.
I like Dusk Vigil's visuals a lot.
Yeah.
Reminds me too much of just Stone Vigil. Like, not like a. I mean, I get that it's supposed to be similar, but they just look.
I didn't
similar.
like all of it, but I liked the sort of underground blue lights, like ghostly bit of it. That was cool.
Yeah.
And Siren Song had that kind of dark, dungeony bit, which was cool, and the raining outside bit.
Yeah.
This one was maybe playing it a bit safe in terms of the visuals of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the visuals are fine. I think mechanically it's not as exciting as Siren Song.
Yeah.
No, I guess not. No.
There weren't really any. No. Yeah.
I feel like in terms of mechanics, it wasn't that much different from Siren Song, and what
you could pick it up pretty easily. Yeah. It was easy.
Yeah, actually, you know what? They had a pretty interesting AOE with the second boss with the numbers.
That's the third boss, isn't it?
It's the second one.
Okay.
Where you have the numbers and you have to stand in certain spots. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and I thought that was pretty.
Well,
cool.
It's basically the Ravana mechanic, isn't it?
Yeah, but this time it's done right.
Yeah.
You don't get the vulnerability stack.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's simple, but I still think it's a nice it's the first dungeon. You gotta.
Yeah, the first dungeon is always easy. Yeah.
I liked when the final boss had a tantrum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Slamming the fist.
Don Meg. Also, we've already seen the full dungeon.
We have seen. We can just say everything.
We can
about
say
this one,
everything
right?
about Don Meg.
Everything about Don Meg.
Okay.
So, where do we? There isn't. Okay, where do we start? What's the?
Probably my least favorite dungeon song.
Yeah, it's a little boring.
I don't even remember the song.
I'm gonna look up the song right now, actually, because I don't quite remember it.
I liked some of the visuals of it. In fact, the
it's
visuals were the
very interesting.
the only really good part. And the last boss was cool with the mechanic you see once, with where the floor disappears. That was good, I guess. But we already knew it was going to happen, so
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, we did see it. So
I wish there was more than one pattern for the final bosses.
yeah,
tightrope.
that would be better. Yeah,
I'll say I like the music. It has that kind of.
had better music.
It did, but it had that kind of like.
Yeah, better music.
Had that like Alice in Wonderland kind of Mad
It does have that vibe.
It has that vibe, and the dwarf are kind of like that anyway. But
yeah.
I found them a bit obnoxious to deal with.
I like the Thwap as enemies.
It was so. Oh no, can't say that. Fuck. Damn. Can't wait next week.
What was cool is I like that this dungeon was the first dungeon. I'm pretty sure it was the first dungeon. Then doing Holster's mentioned or Switch. They have the interrupts that you could do.
Yes.
Which was. I'm glad they're sprinkling that in.
Mm-hmm.
Tanks can do the interrupt.
Yeah.
Tanks
Well,
and ranged DPS, ranged physical.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it's just something else nice, like to keep you busy while you're doing pulls, which is nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it makes the pull go by quicker because you take less damage and they have less health.
Yeah.
Thancred never interrupted them, I don't think. You mean the
That's
thing
on
he
you.
he charges? He does a charge thing on one of the enemies, and then it makes
He
it
like
stronger.
waters the
Yeah.
plant.
Yeah. Thancred didn't actually care about that at all.
No.
No?
Did you like it when he dropped a hive of bees on you, Rollo?
I keep saying this. Video game bees are fine. I just don't like real bees.
That was stressful with so many of them.
They weren't that bad.
They
They were like,
it's
it's
just
the
scare
usual.
you.
It's the usual strength of the kind of enemies they swarm you with.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It's funny though.
Yeah.
I liked the second boss when you had to stop the lines from hitting it, so you could grow as well.
Yeah.
I wish
that
you
was
could have stayed
honestly-
big.
Yeah.
I wish you could stay
Yeah.
big as well, but you go back to normal as soon as the fight's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, with the final boss,
Uh-huh.
have you seen it turn have you seen it turn into a frog?
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I've seen pictures of it.
I saw the picture you posted of it, but
Yeah, I've never seen it.
is that in Rage, was it? Or is that just something that happens after a while?
It's not in Rage. That's just what happens if you. I don't know if it's what happens if you take too long or if it hits a certain point and you're taking too long.
It's
Wow.
just like you just haven't done enough damage. Is all. So it doesn't kill you. It's just like a little. He's like, "Oh no, you're beating me." Oh,
okay. I see.
Okay, I gotta ask you guys though,
Uh-huh.
and everyone in the chat, in the comments,
Yeah.
when the gap appears in the final boss, do you try to sprint across it like Alize does?
I don't think.
I took it slow. I took it at a decent speed.
Yeah.
I
But
Yeah.
I didn't do the full sprint.
Yeah.
I will always try to sprint it, and half the time I get it. Half the time I do.
Half the
Other
time.
half of the time I look really stupid.
All the trusts take the mechanic very differently from each other.
Yeah. Right. Let's just jump on to the Kitana Ravel.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This is my favorite leveling song.
Really?
Yeah.
The weapons that drop here, the healer weapon,
Oh, yeah.
is so high res, it's jarring.
You're so
Maybe
obsessed
it's
with
like
that weapon.
Healer weapon, white mage weapon.
Yeah, the white mage.
Yeah.
Sorry, the white mage weapon. When I saw one
Are
of
there
the,
other healers?
I saw someone wear that before I got to the dungeon, and I'm like, that's the weapon I'm gonna get. So I farmed this dungeon quite a bit just to get that. the dungeon itself is very nice. It's got it's sort
I think
of
the middle section is the least interesting.
Yeah, that's true. It does have these like mini bosses that you have to like beat.
Yeah.
With the
I don't like the mini
wall
bosses. They feel like
mechanic.
they slow it down the dungeon a bit for me.
They do. It's artificially lengthening the dungeon.
I agree, but the middle part, between the two mini bosses, you can take that pull in one go.
Right,
Yeah.
that's true.
I mean, it was.
I like this dungeon. It's
From what I remember of it, it was pretty alright.
Yeah.
It had a nice
So-
aesthetic. It was quite ronken.
Yeah.
so.
Apparently, it drops a chameleon minion, but I haven't got it.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it does. A tiny version.
And I
of
didn't
those
get it, even though
iguanas.
I farmed
Oh,
it. I didn't
really?
even see it.
No, did you get the fallen log, or did you buy that off the market?
No, I think Nat just mailed it to me. The
Huh.
log.
Okay, because I got it on my first run.
Ah.
fallen
Oh, the log comes from there? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, the log comes from there.
Ah,
I just
see.
got it dumped in my inventory because I did it in trusts, and I was like, oh,
I
Fallen
did
Friend.
like the second boss, the
Mm,
giant bat,
right.
Well, so you see the
Yeah,
most
that
interesting thing in the dungeon,
bat
though.
squatch. He was
Mm.
funny.
Yeah.
He was
I didn't like it bouncing up and down. It upset me.
With the...
Yeah.
Yeah, this town was very annoying.
Yeah.
He was good. Tancred said some pretty funny things with him.
Yeah.
what does he say? I didn't go through the dungeon.
He
Trust.
said, I think I took a
You
screenshot.
didn't go
of it, so
through it
just-
with trusts? What are you?
Of course,
Okay.
Roller didn't.
No, so here's what happened. I went to the first dungeon with the trust. It was super fucking slow, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this. I like that they're talking to me, but it's way too slow.
So you instead opted to deal with the horrendous queues?
Wow.
The queues weren't that bad.
Oh,
You
no,
were a
sorry,
tank, weren't you?
Yeah.
the Tancred
you-
screenshots from the next
Did you
dungeon.
force them to do the trusts to do big pulls?
Nope.
I tried sometimes. I did try using trust again after this, and
How?
sometimes they can do it.
It was like the
sometimes
first
not.
run of the dungeons. I was okay with just going at trust pace for the first time going through. 'Cause
Yeah.
I wanted to look at stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked
Mm.
it, but it's just.
And they
I
were
was
fun-
just a
they
little
were
bit
fun.
quicker. But
No, trusts don't AoE, though sometimes they will use attacks that do have AoE, but that's incidental.
Yeah.
It's not because they want to be
Yeah.
more efficient.
Yeah.
But I will say, when I tried them in other dungeons, when I had my own bit better AoE rotation, it went by much quicker.
Mm,
So
Ah.
the first
Mm.
dungeon specifically was just super slow for my taste.
Right.
Later on,
Supposedly,
were okay.
trust runs with healers are slower than with if you're a DPS or a tank.
I can imagine. Yeah.
okay, then yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like the aesthetic of the dungeon. It's like, it's like Allegan, except it's,
the-
like
It's
twice
wrong.
as old. It feels way more ancient than Allegan. if you know what
Yeah.
I mean.
What were
Yeah.
they based on? Because it's not Mayan. It's not Aztec.
It's kind of
It's-
Incan.
Is it
I
Inca?
think it was. Was it Incan? Someone told us, and then we got it,
Yeah.
and then I forgot it. But
Yeah.
I
know
like
it's
the
something
aesthetic.
South American because
It's
I
a
remember
South
seeing that
American, yeah.
Yeah.
because I saw that post on Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
pretty
cool.
cool. It's
Yeah.
very refreshing for a Final Fantasy thing to see, like.
I like the final boss too. The final boss is fun.
Mm.
I'm trying to remember what it looks like.
Look what looks like.
The last
Well, we can
boss.
talk about what it looks like. It looks like a server, not a service.
Oh yeah, it's
Yes,
like
a service.
Chimera. Yeah, that
Right.
one was.
Yes. Yeah.
And it had some interesting mechanics again, and interesting AOE's and stuff to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was just really funny to me, but the Sin Eater gorillas are just.
That's so great, yeah.
I don't know why. Just the idea of like turning into a Sin Eater and turning into a big white gorilla.
Yeah.
Well, I suspect those
I
are
think
just
Yeti.
gorillas that were
They-
turned into Sin Eaters
Or
because,
that.
like with
Yeah.
the bears, they just turn into white versions of
They
themselves.
turn into polar bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
right. Just
Yeah.
it flings like shit at you or something.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
stool
normal,
toss.
normal
They do
gorillas
that. The one
Yeah.
from
Or
it's
stool pelt or something.
yeah something like
Yeah,
that.
stool pelt.
Yeah.
It was it's just really funny to me.
Yeah. I really like that dungeon. It's very atmospheric. Now, speaking of atmospheric, the last dungeon we'll talk about now is Malika's Well.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one I like the least for me personally.
I was going to say that too. This is probably the leveling dungeon I enjoyed the least.
I thought it was okay. I thought it had some cool mechanics.
The one thing that I don't like is that it reminds me of Copperbell Mines. And I just can't with that
It's
dungeon.
only the middle section that's Copperbell Mines.
Yeah. That's the thing I do like, because at some point you start, because for the longest time there's no Sin Eaters. And then suddenly
that's the same with Katana Revel.
Yeah, it's the same there, but I felt like it was way more visible here, because there's like nothing, and then there's that map. Well, yeah, we can talk about that. Fuck it, we have to talk about something. There's this fucking wall, and it's white, and you're like, that's where they are.
That's when it gets interesting.
Yeah, that was alright. The Armadillo was pretty tough.
Yeah, that's
true. I think that was the first thing I died on. It took a while.
I didn't like it as a fight. I thought it was pretty uninteresting.
The bucket monster was good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the bucket monster.
The bucket monster, yeah.
This is the dungeon where Thancred said the funny things. Right, on the first boss, he just goes, "Shall we get this over and done with then?" And then, phew, glad that's over with. So, I liked having him along for it.
If you take your Stolas, she says, "I'd rather not kill it," and then Thancred will follow up with what he says.
Yeah.
But he was good, the bucket man, and the last boss visually was very cool.
Yeah.
And that one again had cool mechanics. It was like doing Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the lasers.
Yeah.
So
I like the. It is one of my favorite final bosses of the dungeons.
I just thought it was the atmosphere of the dungeon with the music as well was very well executed. Like if you listen to this, it has that ominous. Do you hear it? Well, you can't really hear it now. There's like
I just kind of thought the music was boring.
Yeah.
In the background.
It was pretty ominous.
It's very it's hard to remember.
It is.
It's a remix of Amarang, but it's not a good one. In my opinion.
I don't mind it.
How good
I think it was okay.
I don't think it holds up. Well, I didn't like it on the first run, but I think it will get more grading the more times I hear it.
Right. Well, that's Malik as well. We can't really talk about the rest, so that's that.
What's next on the list?
What is next?
Gear.
Let's talk about the gear. Should we talk about our artifact gear, or is that that isn't spoiler because that's already been shown.
I think they've showed them all.
Yeah. So artifact wise, White Mage. I feel like we've already talked about this, but now
put on your habit.
Yeah.
Put on your habit.
The headpiece is awful.
You think your headpiece is awful?
Well, to be fair, your headpiece is you're thinking about the Ronkin one, right?
Oh, I'm thinking about the Ronkin one. That's true. Yeah.
The artifact gear for White. I like the weapon with the crystal lily that blooms when you.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Other than that, it's just White Mage dress, nun edition, basically. Georgi, scholar. Sorry.
Oh, cardboard
box boy.
I don't get this cardboard.
He's such a cardboard box.
He looks like a box. He looks like a square.
He looks like a box of cereal.
It doesn't look that much different from the original Scholar artifact gear, but
I don't understand why they keep saying I look like a cardboard box.
You look like you go like this. That's what you look like when you wear it. It looks weird.
Yeah, you box.
Well, I'm especially considering using the pants for something else, but I like the overall outfit. I like the glasses for the mortarboard. I hate that I can't take the mortarboard off and keep the glasses, but I can take the glasses off and keep the mortarboard.
Yes.
Well, you finally graduated.
No, I feel like I graduated many times in 2.0 when they first gave me a mortarboard.
Yeah.
The weapon it's a book.
Yeah.
The pages are black. That's interesting, I guess. But it's
Cool.
not
Oh,
the
it's
first
like
book
that,
that's had black pages.
Yeah, it's like your first artifact.
Yeah. Right. Rollo.
Well, I have 3
You-
because I got machinist to 80 now. By the way.
Oh, gross.
Wow, you are okay.
I actually, side thing, I hurt my left hand. I think I sprained it, so like I'm not gonna play 14.
What,
How did
Brain?
you sprain it?
Playing too much?
from just playing too much.
Oh my god.
I-
You just said
so,
you're,
like-
you're not going to play 14,
like
but hopefully you're going to play
Cartman.
tomorrow.
I mean, I'm gonna play tomorrow, but I'm not gonna play like on my own
Rollo's
time.
actually Cartman.
I just don't want to get carpal tunnel. Come on.
The
No,
words
no,
coming out of your
definitely.
mouth right now.
Definitely.
Just talk about your gear.
You sprained.
Alright.
Okay, let's see. We have
Well,
to. Let's not. I can't. We move on. The artifact gear, Rollo.
Okay, so I got Machinist, Paladin, and Dark Knight. Paladin, I like a lot more than all the other Paladin gear.
Mhm.
I love the little pop collar thing.
Yeah.
Shield, not so great. Sword, love it. Love
Mm.
it. Has kind of like little, I think, runes on it. Thin. What I liked.
Uh-huh.
Dark Knight, love everything about it except the helmet. I think the helmet looks really bad, and I would have just preferred to use Cecil's. I always forget.
Cecil.
Cecil's. I think his helmet would go a lot better.
Mm.
'Cause it's supposed to be like his helmet. which
Yeah.
is-
It's inspired by,
exactly.
isn't that what they're going for? Yeah.
I thought so.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you
Uh,
didn't like the sword. You kept referring to it as a paddle.
Oh no, I like it that it's a paddle. It's just it's like a big spank paddle. I love
Yeah.
it. It's called a Shadowbringer too, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Machinist is the one I don't like, because all the other artifact gear for Machinist has that kind of like mechanic look, like there's tools on you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you have like the goggles. We have goggles on this one as well. But it's very like I work with
Cowboy.
stuff kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now it's just cowboy,
Mm.
but it doesn't match Machinist at all, really. 'Cause
No.
Machinist isn't. They don't use their gun like that.
No.
They
Mm.
have. And
Yeah.
I want to like it, but I don't think it matches very well.
Mm.
I would say. The weapon is the problem I have with Machinist weapons. They're like unwieldy big to be used one-handed, as I would say.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this like lever action thing on it, and it's just like torn all over the place.
Right.
It looks really goofy, and I'm not a fan. So
Right. Well, Black Mage.
Black Mage is pretty cool. The hat's nice. It's one of those like stylistic, jaggedy ones. I kind of like those.
Right. Yeah.
The weapon's kind of cool. It moves when it's on my back,
That is the best part.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The chest piece is cute. It's got like a patchwork bit on the front,
Mm.
and the boots are cute. But the leg piece is my issue with it, because you kind of have like from your shins and to your knees showing just as bare.
Oh.
Yeah. They're like 3/4 pants. It's weird.
The pants themselves are kind of just above the skirt, so you can't see it anyway.
Oh.
I think having like tights or something would have worked better.
Yeah. Huh. Well, that's
I don't like seeing your ankles.
no.
Why not?
It makes me
If
big
you're
H.
not in that outfit.
Yeah. It's too
Mm.
much. It's too much for me. I'm a nun.
Other gear. I don't like the Runkin gear. I think it looks very.
I like the Ronkin gear. surprisingly.
I think it's better than Allegan
Alamiga?
or
Wait,
Well-
what? Are you saying it's better than Allegan gear? Are you
Alamiga.
mental?
You
Oh,
didn't like
Alamiga.
I like
Alamiga.
the Alamigan gear.
Oh,
oh
okay.
my god, settle down.
Oh, for a second there, I was
I-
gonna rip you apart, Rollo.
I said it looks better than Allegan theme gear.
What?
And
What?
Yes,
Stop saying
So he
Allegan.
did. You see?
yes, I am
He's
saying
not.
Allegan.
He means it. I know it's
I mean-
insane,
No.
but he means
Yes.
it.
And
He's a
I
crazy
think
person.
it
Yeah.
also looks better than like Ironworks gear, because I never liked Ironworks theme gear.
Well, I don't. Ironworks gear is not great. In my
It's-
opinion,
But we
I-
get a little like. zoop.
Yeah,
Well, I like the headpiece, but
Yeah.
I don't. I think the rest of it tends to look quite blocky.
I didn't like the logo. I didn't like the Ironworks. It bothered me
I didn't
so
like
much.
the logo either.
Yeah.
I just
Rollo,
think the Ronkin gear.
I don't know about this
you
anymore.
do not.
We should have said
How
this
dare
beforehand.
you disrespect
I think
Allegan
it
gear?
looks more
We have a
interesting.
crisis. We have there's
I don't think every Allegan gear looks nice, but I think a lot of it does.
not the final coil gear. That's hideous with
and
the
I-
purple and the
That's
massive
that's
rings.
Dreadworm gear.
Sorry,
That's not
Dreadworm.
Allegan.
Yeah. Well,
And
it
I
is
like-
Well, no. Yeah. Well,
No.
it has Allegan influence, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think everything that drops in coil. is
Dreadworm though is I would put it.
Who
as a-
made it?
I would
Did
call it
Bahamut sit
Dreadworm.
there and tinker like, oh yeah, I'll
Yes,
make
he did.
Well, when I say Allegan gears, guy, I mean just like the Allegan aesthetic in general. Like, I think the Ronkin look looks better. I like the eye. Like,
No,
the eye
wrong.
slits
No,
for stuff.
I disagree.
I just think it's interesting and it's different. It's cool.
Wrong.
Okay.
It's just wrong. I think that it's it's just wrong. We will.
I can't-
Some looks
of
better
is-
than others, though.
In some ways, I know what you mean, because I like the Ronkin kind of
It's
the
good.
fact that it's more stone and like thin, just coloured lines that are a bit more like ancient magic kind of look rather than the technological look of Allegans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
But I
prefer-
don't want to look like I'm wearing stone.
But I think it's not like stone exactly. In some sets, look better than.
It's not like stone exactly, but it reminds me of it.
What's wrong with wearing stone?
Just wear the rock. Just wear it, dude.
I feel.
Become the Rock.
I just think the Allegan gear looks. better.
Allegan gear looks good, very good, and it probably looks better.
It has
but-
better headpieces, that's for sure.
I like the
you
tank
mean?
headpiece.
Even
like
though
the tank
I-
Have
I'm
you
not-
seen the casting one?
The casting one is
No,
awful. Looks
Mela, the casting one is awful.
The healing one isn't too bad. It's just a mask. Which, to be fair, you got a Allegan visor. No, you
I look
didn't.
like an Inquisitor.
There wasn't a visor for healers. It was just that little. Was it a visor? I think it was just a head, a circlet.
I don't think any headgear in this game looks very good, to be honest.
Healers tend to get pretty good ones, though. We get like circlets and.
Not
stuff.
when you've got horns.
Yes. We get, healer gear tends to be good because it doesn't cover up too much of our face.
Except if you're white mage and you get your artifact gear. Coifs, love them.
Put on your habit.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Ronkin gear is bad, but I don't. I
The
still
red
think...
mage gear is lovely. Not that I've got it yet, but
we-
the red
we've-
mage
well,
one's
we've
lovely.
technically gone through all this artifact gear before, but yeah, again, red mage looks like every FF11 dev's wet dream.
The dwarf gear, I think looks silly on anything that's not a Lalafell.
Yes,
I adore it.
I was shook.
Only
Or
the
it-
headpiece,
when I-
Georgie. Only the headpiece.
It is.
I think
so
all of it looks weird on things that aren't
Yeah.
dwarves.
Yeah,
I think it looks okay because you don't. It's not the beard when you're not wearing the headpiece. That's fine.
mm,
It's just like tassels.
yeah,
I think the tassels look too big on big people.
Wow.
yeah. Big people.
I like the weapons. The weapons make me laugh.
The paladin one makes me laugh.
Yeah,
They got the pizza cutters.
yeah,
The mining pick.
yeah. The
Dark
mining
Knight
pick.
claw thing?
Yeah.
What the hell is
Can
that?
someone
We
explain?
just got lamps.
Yeah, we got lamps. Got street
Magic.
lamps. What the
Magic
fuck?
lamp.
I think they're really funny.
Yeah, I did like getting a lamp.
The scholar and summoner books just have that frog face on the cover.
Yeah, which is cool.
Of course, of course.
The warrior hammer too.
Mhm.
That's great.
They did
It's
that
just
for
a
Nomura.
massive
They
hammer.
did that for Nomura because of what he
Yeah.
did with that character for Eden. So they're like,
Yeah.
we need to put more hammers in the game.
The ninja uses pizza cutters, dual pizza cutters.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut up all that pizza you just bought from Domino's.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Other than that, I like the glowy blue weapons. It's one of the few
Oh, the
leveling
blue
weapons
crystal,
that I
they
think
were
is
nice.
worth keeping.
Yeah, they
Oh,
were very good set.
Where were those from?
They're crafted.
That's I leveled 403.
Right, that's what
crafted.
that.
You can make them all.
Yeah, it's
I
level
really
50.
liked
74.
the casting Don Meg chest piece. It's very specific, I know, but it's kind of like
the casting
kind
one
of-
you said.
yeah, it's kind of like an Ishgardian like blouse sort of thing.
Yeah,
Like, very
it reminds
frilly
me-
and
It reminds me of the Hanish wool top.
yeah, a bit like the Hanish wool, but it's
I don't think I liked the healer chest piece from Don Meg.
Cannot even remember it.
I can't
It was
remember.
too ornate.
It has like little, like almost doilies. I think they're called.
Yeah, they're kind of like yeah.
Oh,
like something you see in your grandma's house, like her that she has on her kitchen table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be the problem, chat. Is that I think it is too feminine for my character.
Yeah. Why?
Well,
Yeah.
you should
You're used to
know
the
that,
box look.
Vakil,
I do know
because
that,
when
but-
they showed off the AF gear, all of the healers were women, and when they showed off the tank gear, all of the tanks were male.
That's true.
Hey.
It's just coincidence.
Ariandra wears that fucking astrology AF gear like a fucking champ.
That's true.
Dude.
That is.
Yeah,
true.
that's
He's fucking
true.
sexy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It grew on me a lot.
Yeah.
That's just how he looks now.
Yeah, that's just him now.
But the
So
thing is, it's not always going to be how he looks.
I think it might be.
Better keep it.
well, we'll see. Yeah, he will
can't go
change
back to his
eventually. But
hempen cowl.
yeah, he can never go back. I think to his old look. That would be strange if he did, but maybe he will. We'll see when, because that's just the first. Well, we can't talk about this.
Oh.
Okay. Next, mobs. How do we feel about the mob design and variety in the worlds and identity and stuff?
Penis
Very
cactuar.
good. Sorry?
The big
Penis
cactuar.
cactuar.
Yeah.
That's it.
I really like
Like
seeing
was.
goblins.
Oh, actual
I
goblins.
don't like
Yeah.
goblin.
I think
Hideous
it's a
creatures.
brilliant model. Really
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah. I agree. But it doesn't mean I like them. Hideous.
Oh, it's
hideous
so
tiny
nostalgic,
things.
that one. It's like the ultimate classic goblin.
Yeah.
What about the what are they called? They have the things with their mask off, little red eyes.
Oh, the fucking.
Oh, the mod.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
The Mord.
I mean,
They're
they're
cool.
not enemies, but
Well,
they are
I'm
cool.
I think they're cute.
I love them. I love them
They
more than
were
our
very
cohorts.
cool.
One is even voiced at some point, but now we are
Yeah.
treading on dangerous ground.
I like all the enemies that like are static, and then when they become active, they sort of change, like the
Yes.
Dracos.
Yeah.
The Dracos were a big change because they're like little just lizards, and suddenly they turn into dragons. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the sticks.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
Colts, the
The
Yeah.
sticks that pick themselves up.
Ooh,
they're in-
yeah. They're in
What
Colucia,
a-
aren't they? They're
Yeah,
scary.
they're Clusia.
Yeah.
Dude, what about those gnomes with the fattest fucking asses we've ever seen? You know what I'm
Sorry?
talking
I
about?
don't like the gnomes because that's not what a gnome looks like.
That's
Oh,
what
right.
a gnome looks like, and they're
They
thick
just look
as
like
hell.
golems. They're those golems, but they're
Yeah,
called
it's just
gnomes.
golems.
Oh, right. Yes, right. Yeah.
Even just the like reskin ones were really good, like iguanas.
Mhm.
That really, just they were a good model. Even though it was
11
just a
lizards.
giant
Yeah.
suit.
Why are they called iguanas? They're chameleons.
I
That's
like a
true.
Oh yeah, that
That's
is
true. I didn't even think
Oh my
about
it.
god,
Chameleon
you're
is
right.
actually called a
Oh no,
chameleon.
you've ruined them.
It's called a chameleon? That's even more
Yeah, the-
confusing.
Oh boy.
I like that when they come to you rather than the other way around. It's far less
Yes.
annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Um.
Yeah, the 11 the Morrowind guas. That look like they've been plucked complete, like, verbatim from
the
Morrowind.
lizards.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they don't
Lizards.
even look like they fit in this game world. They're good. Disgusting funguas.
Yeah, the 11
I hate them.
Wars. I'm glad they're
Vile.
back.
Vile, awful creatures.
Weren't
Horrible
there some
things.
dwarves you could fight? Or was I wrong?
Yes.
Yo,
No.
maybe in like quests or something, or in a fate.
I think in Fates maybe.
In Fates.
Oh, yes,
not-
Fates. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. They're no.
I love kicking the shit out of those little guys. I just
Wow.
Okay.
I like
Something
the
about
one
fighting.
that you can beat up pixies in.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Kill the
yeah.
monkeys.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Kill
the
those horrible fwath.
I was afraid of like we were gonna get just a lot of reskins of old enemies. But we got quite a lot of just brand new enemies, and
Yeah.
some are from 11, which is nice. They did some more 11 fan service. Yeah,
some are
no,
model rips too from
from
13.
13. Yeah, there's some puddings
Yeah.
from 13. I
Nothing
believe.
wrong
I
with
don't
that,
like-
I'll say.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah, that's a good model.
Yeah.
I don't like tomatoes. I
Oh,
don't like.
tomatoes
No,
are weird.
they're disgusting.
Is that the little plant thing that has?
It's like a
Yeah, it's
pot,
like in a
and then
Yeah, I
pot.
think they're pots, and then they come out like genies.
Ugh,
Mm.
I
Yeah.
don't like that. The plant boys in Ilmeg.
Oh, the flower pots. Yeah, they're
The flower baskets. I like them.
Yeah, the flower baskets.
So
I wish they were more non-aggressive mobs. I did like that there were non-aggressive mobs in this expansion that weren't sprites, though.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a lot, but some.
No, not a lot. Mostly bats, but that's fine.
I'm glad those bats were there because I wouldn't have. Oh God, can you imagine?
How'd you feel about the Nomu that you could fight? Overworld, by the way.
It's fine.
Don't like fighting.
I thought it was weird.
I thought fighting the garden porksies was weirder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to hit them. I don't want to hit them.
They're like little dogs.
The porksies, I think, are reskins of the spirits, the little yellow and blue spirit things.
The bogies?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
They make similar noises.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I don't like the jungle rails.
I liked the jungle rails. They were the birds. They were like birds, but they had faces on.
Oh.
In where?
That's
Great
right.
word.
Horrible creatures.
That meme's gonna
But
die
there were
soon, don't
normal
worry.
rails as well.
Ah.
Yeah, there are
then-
normal rails, and then there's the horrible jungle rails.
Yeah.
Why do they have faces on their stomachs?
I don't
To
like that.
scare the other creatures away.
Yeah.
How'd you guys feel about scenery designs? The ones that
I like the unique ones.
The
Yeah.
what designs?
Cineator designs.
Oh,
I
Cineators.
liked the some of them.
don't we can't spoil the big ones.
I like
obviously.
mostly the bosses. The bosses are unique for
Yeah.
the most part.
Yeah.
I
They
thought
really-
all the either the bosses or the sort of humanoid ones were really cool.
Yeah.
The ones that were just white bears and stuff, a bit less so. But
Yeah.
Dynamites are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I like the
surprised.
golems that rebuilt themselves in the well.
Were those sin eaters?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Were they?
There's like where you have to like destroy them before they rebuild,
Oh yeah, I
and
remember
then they
that.
build, and then there they
Okay.
are.
But then when they build, they still have the same HP, so you
Yeah,
can
they
just
do.
build them really quickly.
Yeah. And they don't have any like vulnerability buff when they're
No,
built.
in fact, it just gives you loads of time to kill
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Cineators are well designed. There's there's a few like the bears. That's a weird one. That's just polar bears. Yeah.
I like that they stayed away from like the angel aesthetic for the most part. With the fancy wigs everywhere. Some of them still have it, but it's not too much. Where it's like,
well, it's mostly the caribou that's like the angel-like design.
There's a caribou, and then there's the one.
Oh yeah.
There's
some that we probably can't talk about.
I don't know if I can even say it's spoiler.
Yeah.
One of the bosses.
I think the lion is also a bit angelic as well.
In some ways, maybe more regal.
Yeah.
What about the sexy sin eaters though?
I like them.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of them.
Uh-huh.
Let's give them a little kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And the huge. Actually, no, never mind.
Well, okay. You're a huge.
About that dungeon.
We'll leave it at
You know,
that.
my favorite Cineators are the final boss of Holminster and Malachi as well.
Okay. We have to move on. Let's talk briefly about crafting and gathering. I don't know how much you guys have done of that.
Just leaves.
I've actually done a lot.
Okay, same. I have leveled my culinarian to 80.
Wow.
That culinarian first.
Because
Random
raids
one,
are coming.
okay.
Raids are coming. It's big money.
Oh, all right.
I know it's big money.
Yeah. I did that. I did the Crystarium deliveries and leaves mainly to level that.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Leaves are very good. Crystarium
fantastic.
deliveries. The amount of EXP you get from that is insane. So definitely worth doing that for
Were the
level.
leaves better than they were in Stormblood?
I feel like
I think
they
they're the
are.
same.
I feel
they're
like
more,
they're
but
at
I feel
least the same.
there are more repeatables. I feel like there's a repeat.
Oh, there's more
Oh,
repeatable.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
lots of them where you can hand in like 3 in a row.
Yeah. And well, then that's great because you can do more on a single leave. You get 3 leaves for one. And the deliveries are also very nice. We can't really talk too much about it, but there is a unique story with each facet of.
Are they repeatable though, or is the XP just a one-off?
When you are done, you are done.
Okay, so that you might as well get the XP from it then.
They will, use it for leveling. And a facet is usually like multiple classes. So don't do what I did, because I could have probably saved. Because for some reason I was under the impression that after I had done it, I would still be able to deliver like a weekly delivery.
That would have been what I was under the
that's what I was assuming.
Yeah, that's not the case. So I wasted some EXP on the last one because I was already.
Oh, were you already like level 80?
And I could have used that for my alchemist instead. Big mistake. But they're very good. They have a story, huh?
Have you been doing any of the gathering ones?
Not yet. I haven't started on that. But
I've been focusing more on gathering and crafting, and not the same as Stormblood, I'd say. I like the fucking delivery quests are like stupid easy.
Oh yeah.
And just do my quality for the extra XP too.
Yeah.
So it's like you can get most of them done in like less than 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Starting with Stormblood, they started making like the actual leveling quests pretty. Leveling crafts and gathers pretty easy compared to in Heavensward before.
Yeah. Try doing fucking gathering in Heavensward.
I just finished that one minor.
Awful.
Thank God for that.
I'll have to go back to that soon when I level up my gatherers to 50 on my Ragnarok character.
Oh boy, that is the worst part.
It's not worth it, Georgius, but...
Don't do it! Why?
It's awful.
No, crafters are fine on Heavensward, it's the gatherers.
Yeah, gatherers.
You can use Moogles.
Well, why do it again?
Yeah.
No, that's a good point.
Right now I have my main character to work on. I was doing that because I didn't have anything to level on my main.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Leaves are incredible XP. I can usually get like at least half a level per set of leaves.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
what's a set of leaves? How many is that?
It's 3, right?
Well, technically it's 3, but I gather everything I can. So at the moment I'm able to gather 9 leaves at a time.
Okay.
Oh, you do the ones even below your level.
Because there's only like 200,000 difference.
Rollo, well, that's for crafting at least. For I've done some of the gathering. I'm like 75 or something botanist, or am I? I can't remember what level.
Yeah, something like that.
But for crafting, you don't even have to like. I just kept I just made a fucking ton of stuff
once you know what you need.
The level 72 leave or 74. And I just did that until I was 80. And it was done in one
Sometimes you can find a really... Like, when Stormblood came out for Carpenter, I just bought loads of...
Yeah.
I thought you were doing it as a gatherer, and I was like, why would you do that?
Oh. Yeah.
That's
So...
And the NPC is right next to the leaf. So
yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
You don't even have to move.
Have you seen those XP buffs that you can get, by the way? That are
the new manuals.
Yeah,
they're
4 million XP.
Yeah, 100% increase. Yeah,
and you can buy them with the old scripts, and it's like,
wow,
just stock up. Like it's so much free XP. 4 million.
Is it yellow scripts?
Whatever
it will be now. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like 300 scripts for one,
that's
something like
cheap.
that. And that's like, why wouldn't?
I mean, I'm already capped, so I might as well spend them on something.
Well, exactly. And then you can just go and grind.
Yeah. Right. That's that. Let's just quickly talk, because we didn't talk about this last week. We didn't actually compare. We talked about the launch, how smooth it was. How do you feel compared to Stormblood in terms of amount of players and server stability and such? How do you feel compared to Stormblood?
It was so much better.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, aside from some DDoS attacks, like one yesterday on NA, I think.
NA is having
Stormblood as well.
Tough. Yeah, that's true though. Yeah, that is true. The same thing happened for Stormblood.
I actually played it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are you saying like we're seeing a lot more people too, or something like that?
I mean,
what your thoughts are?
Just go to fucking Yulmore.
Oh god, it's lag city.
No, I don't want to.
I don't know. On Zalera, it seems pretty
FPS
like
drops it. Well, no one plays on
then
Zalera.
Yeah, no, on Goblin it's also fine.
Then why
Roller,
is
but I don't like
Ragnarok
going
so
there on Ragnarok.
Why is it so bad on Ragnarok? Is it just because more people congregate?
Yeah, because it's a big server.
I guess, yeah.
more concentrated.
Stay off Ragnarok.
Come to Zalera. We have well, actually, you can't make characters on any NA world apparently.
Right.
No,
Any?
they're all full apparently.
All of, I tried making like an alt for fun. It's like,
Oh my god, imagine buying
all
the
of
game.
them. All of them
Can't make a character.
closed.
There's got to be one open for the new people.
No, I checked
Yeah, you
all
just
of
have
them.
to stay awake until like 2 a.m. in the morning American time.
Oh my god.
And like, it's got to the point where like some more friends of mine are like, "Oh, Shadowbringers? Why do I shout the free child?" I'm like,
Yeah,
"Don't."
good luck
You're
making
not
the
gonna be able
character.
to play. Or like, I just say like, "Okay, wait till like 3 a.m. or 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Maybe give it a
I
shot."
bet they
Setting
love that
alarm.
advice.
Mm. Well, there you go. Come play on Europe. No, don't do that, actually.
No,
No, it's
Stay
even
away.
worse on Europe.
Stay away.
play on Japanese servers.
Yeah, play on Japanese. They have loads of servers, so just go there.
Yeah.
And you can make characters on almost all of them. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll fit in.
Yeah.
Unless you're looking for a busy server, in which case Tonbridge's probably full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the American one. Or sorry, they were speaking.
In fact, actually, based on the Lalafell run we did on that bot server, why don't play on that one?
Oh my
I bet
god,
Yulm
yeah.
was empty on that server.
That was interesting.
That was a funny server.
Yeah, no, I think we can all agree that Shadowbringers launch was superior
So
to
good.
any of the expansion launches, and even a Realm
Yeah.
Reborn's launch, which was
Any
famously
expansion I've
horrible.
ever experienced.
Yeah, same.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just I got on and it worked. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
left.
And I
Yeah.
could even do
That's-
the first dungeons and stuff with no issues.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
The only
Not
thing
had-
I've noticed on North America or Crystal, I should say, is that sometimes visiting other worlds takes a bit longer than usual, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Was-
And remember, we had over 1 million active players before Shadowbringers came out.
Mm.
Yeah.
Imagine how inflated that number is going to be now, with all these reviews
yeah.
ticking in,
Mm.
all the exposure that just prior to the launch. I think we are at our prime. This is the golden
This
age.
is-
This is the
yeah.
golden era of 14. I
Stay
think.
away. There's not enough servers for
Stay
all of
away,
you.
though. Yeah, it's full. We're full.
This is our game.
Well,
Get out of
hopefully
here!
it'll motivate them to make more servers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but ours will always be popular.
Yeah.
And, with
Ours will always be popular.
Oh yeah, because we're
its
on.
legacy and everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it has that legacy tag, which for some
Yeah.
reason people are like, "Whoa, that's
What is
big."
that?
I mean,
mean-
yours is the only legacy server in Europe, isn't it?
It was the only
Exactly.
European server in 1.0.
That's still hosted in America, right? Or Canada, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't even
Everything was in
remember if
Canada.
the servers were located. They might have just all been in Japan in 1.0.
No.
I can't
No.
remember. I cannot
can't
remember.
be.
It might not. It might have been just been in North America. I might have mixed that up. But it was you you wouldn't know because
Oh.
we had some funny ping. Let's just say that.
Hmm.
Okay, let's move on to yeah, all servers were in Japan. Okay, there you go.
Wow.
They were all in Japan.
That's
better for me.
better for you in Australia.
Yeah. We haven't really talked about hunts, but we can briefly touch on that. And the fates. God, I would forget about the fates.
Oh, the
Uh,
fates have been.
It's
I've
not
not
enough
hated
fate.
doing them.
Was-
They've been fine for me.
uh-huh. The instant
Sometimes you will go out into a world and there are no fates, and that's annoying.
Yeah, for
Oh.
like 2 minutes.
Right. There are a lot of them though, like for this expansion. How
Yeah.
many fates are there?
I would say it feels like there's less. I feel overall, I think there's less fates than in Stormblood.
Really?
It feels that way at least.
I feel like there's like some of the well, maybe it's just because of the fate chains. Like, cause there's some
There are more
really
fate chains
long
in
chains.
Shadowbringers,
Yeah,
which
there
makes
are a lot of
which
chains.
is really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have
you guys gotten the shared face to max yet?
No.
The what
No.
face? Oh, no. Have you?
Absolutely
No.
not.
No.
Oh,
If you were to say yes, Rollo, with your fucking...
And then you'd be like, yeah, that's why I broke my hand.
Yeah.
Fates all day.
Every zone has its own shared fate. Has its own at least one fate chain that leads into an achievement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Do you get
true.
anything with the achievements?
No.
That's just...
But you got to get it, right?
Yeah.
No,
I've
don't
gotten
have to get
every
it.
fate achievement except Formidable on my Ragnarok character.
Oh, there you go.
I'm just...
I've got more on my Ragnarok character than my actual.
I wish they just gave you something more tangible sometimes.
Yeah.
Achievement... I mean, I like some of the
That's
stories in the
true,
fate chains.
because in old fate achievement fates, they sometimes came with rewards, but none of these, except for the last two, do in Shadowbringers.
Yeah.
It's just the two special fates,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I usually don't do them. So.
And then the hunts with the nuts.
Ah.
I've noticed I haven't even bothered to even focus on hunts yet because of the instances.
Don't bother.
Every
with
time a hunt is an S rank is called out in a hunt link shell, you have to literally be teleporting before the message reaches your chat box, because by the time you've started teleporting, it's full.
I haven't seen a single S rank.
No. I don't think I have either. I've only seen A ranks.
I might have
Yeah, I've seen
seen one. No, I don't think I have seen one. I think I remember once I was in an instance, an A rank was called, so I immediately went to it and got in a party, and I think it was already half dead. So
Nice.
hunts are not worth doing unless you're already there.
Yeah.
Join like one of those train groups and
Yeah.
just stick with it,
Yeah.
and you'll be fine. But if you want to just pop in and out, you're gonna have a bad time because
Yeah.
it'll be dead by the time you get there.
I think it will get easier when there's less instances.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will.
I mean, I haven't really been participating in hunts for the most part, aside from doing my B ranks and my daily Kupo Nut stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good XP too.
Right. That's true.
It is quite good XP actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
a little bit more than a quest.
Did you just
usually.
say daily
got-
Kupo nut?
Well,
Sorry?
they are coupons, aren't they?
Yeah,
They are
that's
nuts.
technical. They're nuts.
Sacks of nuts.
Yeah.
Sorry. Nuts. My
But
daily
they're
nut sack.
coupon.
That's true. There is an SS rank. I think there's only one. I think
Oh!
it's always the
What?
same one in every
Oh.
zone, depending on what happens.
I didn't know that.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Okay, so what happens with the SS rank is once an S rank is killed, 5 false A ranks will appear throughout the zone, and you'll get a message that says the S rank's minions have appeared. Those 5 A ranks have to be killed quickly.
Mm.
And then if all of them are killed within a certain period of time, the SS rank appears.
Wow.
I don't think I like the name SS rank.
That doesn't sound good. But
Yeah, maybe add one more S.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
Not a great term. to
Doesn't.
use.
Yeah. As a European, that one's a little
Yeah.
difficult.
Hits
but-
home with it.
Yeah, a little bit. But I guess that's the surprise that Yoshi-P talked about that they'd done with the hunt system. Remember he said that?
right.
That they'd added something.
Yeah.
Canadian gives you
Just
credit for
more-
5 S rank. That's good.
Do they just give more nuts? Oh, it gives you credit for 5 S ranks.
Mm.
Well,
That's
the
quite
rewards aren't multiplied by 5, but you get 5. It counts as 5 for the achievement count.
It's pretty good.
Ah, wow.
Because remember, there's that achievement that you need to kill like 1,000 S ranks and
2,000.
however many A ranks to get to the Triceratops mount.
5,000
You gotta
yeah.
get the
to get a stupid tiger, which it looks cool. So
No,
one.
well, the tiger's the earlier one. There's
Yeah.
another one that's specific to Shadowbringers S ranks.
Oh
That's
no!
an A ranks, which is a Triceratops.
Oh,
Nice.
what you get that title too, the feral.
Yeah.
If you're feral.
I don't need this.
We need to go. We need to go. We need to leave. We need to leave
Yeah,
our,
we need
our
to
review.
move on to the interview.
DualShockers. So that's the end of our spoiler-free review. Next week we will do the spoiler cast episode.
So it will be a bit less awkward.
It'll be yes. Right. There was an interview conducted by DualShockers with Naoki Yoshida, released just a few days ago. Let me just. There we go. It's post Shadowbringer launch, but it is spoiler free. So, well, actually, this is done pre release, actually. It is pre-release. That's why it's spoiler-free, probably. I think it's just before release at the end of E3 2019. Okay. Final Fantasy XIV's development timeline is one of the... Also, if you're watching on demand, links in the description. Can someone post the link just in chat? So you
can probably skip to the interview part.
Yeah.
Here you go.
When you reflect back on your time developing A Realm Reborn, what memories stick out the most to you? Yoshida says, among so many memories, I think there are a couple that I won't forget anytime soon. This particular one happened during our first fan festival in 2014, when we first announced Heavensward, our first expansion. We had our event in Las Vegas. We got
Stop going to Las Vegas.
Yeah, why do you always change locations in Europe, but in America it has to be Las
He's
Vegas?
a gambler.
Gamble. He wants to
gambling.
gamble.
Go to Atlantic City. Jersey isn't that
He can't
bad.
gamble in Japan, so he gambles when he goes out of the country.
He can
You
gamble
should see
in
his
Europe.
pachinko ball collection.
Yeah.
He's got minions.
There were
We'll be at
other
Monaco.
places to gamble. Yeah, Monaco. That would have been strange. Fan festival from Monaco. We got up on
It's not
stage.
California.
We got up on stage, and hearing that massive cheer is something I will not forget to this day. The fact that so many people are cheering for a game I and so many created, the history of it having such a rough start, being able to rebuild it and have the game be enjoyed by so many is unforgettable. Another instance might have been during the same event. There was a teenager that came up to me, 16 or 17 years of age. They said, "You are my hero." Up until that point, I felt that saying such a line is directed towards an actual hero in some kind of work of art or comic book, or something like that. It reassured me that we continued to work really hard. Those things come to mind. Yeah. With the entire development team for Final Fantasy XIV, it almost seems unbelievable what you've all done. What is the culture like for you and your team? How do you keep everyone going at the same pace as back then and delivering great content consistently?
Look out the whip.
Yeah.
Yoshida says, when speaking about trying to keep the motivation up for our developers, a whip is quite useful. No, sorry. I think we never want to force them. It's not something where you can make them get motivated. So we try and encourage them through quantitative things. An easy example is the number of subscribers we have, or feedback, comments. Our project manager collects these things every time we release a patch. For example, comments on players' social channels or screenshots. They compile it as a report to show the development team. I make sure that I show the developers the result of their efforts in a way that they can tangibly see.
Oh no!
So when they hit
a
milestone, they say you can look at some positive comments now.
Yeah.
Or do you think they took our reaction video?
Oh yeah.
They said, look, they did the face.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, in terms of each individual's career, of course, every developer may have an idea of where they want to take their career. So you want to provide an environment where each developer can be proud of the work they do and the result that they bring to the game, and constantly get their feedback and input on whether they want to continue on that path, if they're okay with where they are, or if they want to move elsewhere. If they want to move somewhere else, like a standalone game, we would support them and see if there are ways we can help. We take all of that into consideration and see if we can support them. We can recommend them to different departments in Square Enix if that's where they want to go in their career. We want to provide an environment where our developers are stable and comfortable in their work environment and career path. Another element that we are very mindful about is the salary and the opportunities for advancement within the team. I'm in charge of not just Final Fantasy XIV, but the overall division of Square Enix, which we call Creative Business Unit 3.
Good name.
Very creative name.
So I have many different members that contribute to different projects from that department. So this doesn't only apply to Final Fantasy XIV, but with any project. If certain individuals are contributing in a very significant way, we want to acknowledge them, praise them for their efforts, help let them advance. It doesn't matter how many years you've been with the company, you have the opportunity... It doesn't matter how many years you've been with the company, you have the opportunity to showcase your work, and the contributions that you've made will be...
Will be recognized.
Will be recognized. Sorry, I don't know why that one broke me. Even if that's a staff member that has only worked at Square Enix for half a year, if they worked really hard that half a year, we do recognize it. Sometimes it's in the form of a bonus salary or things like this. Is very
So I mean, this is how the company works.
Yeah.
Bonus salary is very common in Japan.
Okay.
But depending on your work effort throughout the year, you'll get a bonus at the end of the year.
Okay. Bonus salary or things like that. We try to offer a dynamic so that the developers would be motivated. We do want to recognize those who excel, and we do want to identify our stars, so we properly acknowledge them so the other team members are motivated and excited. Look up to them in a way and say, oh, I would love to achieve as much as they do.
Oh.
Another thing is that a lot of our developers are experienced Final Fantasy XIV players. 14 players. So they're really passionate about the title. They're just so many who play the game and have that desire to join the development team, wanting to do something related to Final Fantasy XIV. Those kinds of people tend to grow in their careers very, very quickly. We're always excited to see how they'll grow.
Gosh, Betty regrets that question.
Well, why?
That was a long...
Well, it's a lot of information about the...
Just how that...
I mean, it's nothing super
It's
unique.
nothing that unique from my understanding of how Japanese companies work.
Yeah.
Or at least
In general,
successful
yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Bonus
I feel
salaries
like-
are kind of weird, but
I don't know. I think bonus salaries are quite common even here.
Bonus salaries is really common in Japan, Roller. It's not.
I know.
it's not-
I'm just saying, like,
I mean, I feel like
It's not a weird idea.
that's common
Everywhere.
isn't it?
you get like bonus pay sometimes, but it's not like an especially big thing.
No, but it's
Wow.
just like
It's a recognition bonus.
it's like a pat on the back.
Mm.
Can you talk to me a bit about healing classes? You've heard a lot, and I'm sure you've responded a lot to fans who want to see a new healing class. Can we expect that down the pipeline? So this question has been asked before. What challenges do making a new healing class present to you and the team? Why hasn't a new one come in some time? Yoshida says he's quite defensive. So I'm not sure.
I understand why.
So I'm not sure if people just don't remember it or just don't bring it up. But in Heaven's Word, we introduced a new healer, so it's not like we've never introduced one. And so some people actually do comment to me saying, it's been 6 years, where's the new healer? And I go, wait, that's not true.
Who says it's been 6 years? Who is it? Liars.
Of course, with healers, yes, we do admit that there are difficulties in balancing different jobs in that category. It was a struggle over the years maintaining different jobs. We do see that Scholar has the ability to cast barriers, and the Fairy they can summon. They're very mobile. On the other hand, it was lacking in pure healing capabilities. We do see players utilizing the Scholar to just have barriers set up, and the rest of the time they're mainly attacking. There you go. Healers who utilize other jobs may look at the Scholar and think they can do everything else. Why can't we have that? We do understand that
Not
concern.
anymore.
So we took it away.
It's like that anymore.
They took it away. We do understand that concern. It was quite a struggle seeing how we can balance all three jobs, including the White Mage and Astrologian, against each of the healer jobs. We have been continuing to tweak and make adjustments. As of patch 4.4-ish, there may not have been complete balance yet. We haven't gotten ourselves where we want the balance to be. At the brink of the new expansion, introducing yet another healer before we're able to achieve a satisfactory level of balance would complicate things further. We're very hesitant to say we could maintain balance amongst 4 healer job titles. That's why we've held back on adding another. So, I mean, he's got a point. Again, the healers were never balanced. They've never
still
been
not really balanced.
No.
Yeah,
But if they're still struggling, adding another one is not going to help.
Imagine if they
matters.
added another one in this.
No, exactly.
People just want a shiny new toy to play with, really.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
well, I'm glad they took the time to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't do a very good job.
They
I think-
flipped the healer balance around from before, where Scholar was in the middle, Astrologian was the best, and then White Mage was the worst. But now they've flipped White Mage and Astrologian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they've done.
It's so wild because like looking at tanks, how they are now, it's like, why can't healers be like this unique and interesting to play?
Yeah.
And balanced.
Yeah, like I feel like for the most part, the tanks are like in a really good play, like the best they've ever been.
They're all fun to play now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and healers are
because healer is fundamentally difficult because you're supposed to like heal players,
but no one wants to do that,
and no one really wants to do that because they want to hit the thing, they want to see the big numbers in red, you know.
I like healing.
Yeah, I like healing
in combination with DPS.
Exactly.
That's why I'm a healer.
But I think that's where the disconnect sort of is, because I think the dev team they want us to focus more on the healing part because we're healers. But I think that's the wrong path. I think we should be able to do both.
I think that Go.
Oh, okay. I think their big problem is like they really just pigeonhole themselves into just regen and shields,
Yeah.
That's it. Healing cannot be anything else. Just regen and shields.
Yeah.
But then you look at like tanks and like their mitigation techniques are pretty diverse compared to each other. Like you look at like Dark Knight's fucking ultimate defense thing or whatever, like Living Dead.
Yeah.
They get to die. It's I'm not saying exactly good, but you know, and then you have fucking what's Paladins? I can't remember.
Hallowed Ground.
Hallowed
Ground.
Yeah.
Take no damage. Stupid strong, but and the best objectively.
It's got the highest cooldown of the immunity skills.
Yeah. And then you get Warrior. It's like okay, they just can't die. And then you have Super Bolide, which is sort of like Paladins. And then you have the different.
Terrifying.
It's scary, but it's interesting. And then you have their mitigation. Some of them use Gunbreaker uses parry.
Yeah,
right?
some are more based on parrying, whereas some are more based on just direct damage reduction.
Yeah.
Or like armor ratings and stuff. It's like,
and then you also have shields and regens. You have Dark Knight with a shield, and then you have Gunbreaker with a regen. And I'm like, why can't they try and incorporate that kind of variety?
Look at White Mage's level 80 skill. It's essentially just largesse, except they've added wings to the back of you to make it special.
Well, it also increases defense of nearby party members.
Yeah.
So they did add some. There is something to it other than that, but yeah, it lasts for a short time.
Why couldn't it have been like, hey, you press the button, the wings come on. You are an aura healer now, as in like people around you, just as long as they're around you,
that's something that I wish the game would do. We still don't have like an aura healer.
Yeah. And I'm not saying
should we get a totem healer?
Yeah, totem healer. We talked about that before Shadowbringers. Yeah.
The problem with totem healers, I feel as if with the dev team's current perspective, I feel as if it's going to double up with Scholar too much.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
I think you can look at it from the flip side as well. Not only do they not have like an interesting class identities or different ways to play them, but mechanically, like tanks will have different. They'll have to learn swaps. They'll have to learn when to interrupt. They'll have to learn, how to work with a partner.
Yeah.
DPS will have to learn different mechanics. They'll be dodging. They'll be switching to adds. They'll be going into different phased instances. Healers will just be doing AoE heals and single target heals.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
There are some fights like Shinryu, which has healer checks that are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not common.
No.
If they could bring in more things like that, where you have to heal up and like an ad to succeed in the phase, that adds something for healers to do.
Yeah.
I like heal checks as well, like the middle phase of Ultima in Orborn Monastery.
The bubble, right?
Where it's
right.
perpetual.
Yeah.
They did that again. And another spoiler part of the.
That's why I didn't use that one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just
healers
give
are
them interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's this. If a healer becomes too different from, it'll fall out of the meta You know, it's the problem that people will be like, ugh, aura healer, not in my raid. You know, it'll be like that, and then
you'll be welcome in our raid team, shamans.
Just straight up shamans for Mao, huh?
Yeah, why not?
Healers tend to be very vulnerable when it comes to that. Like if they're too weird, if they're too like specific,
you just want either someone who's going to be doing very reliable big number healing or someone who can weave in good damage.
Yeah.
You're not going to be wanting some like blood healer where the more damage it takes, the higher its healing is, or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
We can't do anything like that with the game, how the game works now. Totally understandable. But just having the split be, okay, this one has a pet, this one has regens, this one has shield.
We might as well get rid of Astrologian
Well,
at
the
this
thing
point.
is, now every healer has regens and shields.
Yeah, and it's like healers feel like if every other job was like a different ice cream flavor, healers are just the same ice cream flavor with like a different sprinkle on top. This one has chocolate, this one has nothing, and this one has sprinkles.
Yeah.
Astrologian is just a cone.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, there's more to his answer. So he was just talking about difficulty balancing, adding a healer before they've balanced the current healers. The other reason is looking at the different roles and maintaining the balance. If you remember the number of roles as of Stormblood 4.0, we have 3 in the tank category, 5 in melee DPS, 3 in magic DPS, 3 in the healer, and only 2 in the range DPS category. Looking at the numerical standpoint of what jobs we have available, it was only natural to bolster the range DPS category. We were very surprised that there were so many players expecting a healer to be introduced. So he said that before.
He said that before, and that's fine. That's fine, and I agree with that. Yeah. But he can't go back to that now.
No.
We need 5 in every category now. We need 5 in every category.
Why would you be surprised though? Like you announce a tank first, and then it's like, well, we've already had a lot of DPS, so it's.
I don't think a lot of people were thinking about the amount of ranged physical and ranged magic before he started talking about it.
We understand that there are distinctions in DPS classes, but ultimately they're all DPS.
Yeah.
I know, it's basically melee and range. No one really cares about whether it's a caster or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But hey, I just read a post from you on the game's forums where you addressed a lot of fan requests, what you guys are putting into the game for the fans. How do you kind of balance out the demands, new costumes, a healer class? How do you balance what the team wants to do versus what the fans want to see for years and years? Yoshida says, we look at it from a standpoint where we're not exactly striking a balance between the two. Looking at what the development team wants to do and looking where the player feedback comes in and seeing where they match. That's sort of the direction I take when adding elements to the game. It only makes sense to see what aligns together and just execute those. For those that don't match at all, when it's too different from what we want to do and what the players desire, we can't implement it into the game. That makes sense. What's important about player feedback is we don't literally listen and feed everything back as is into the game. We need to discern which things do mesh with what we want to accomplish from a development standpoint and what matches the demand and what we're able to provide. There are some things we just cannot address, and there is a deliberate reason behind that. We always provide a reason and an effort to explain why there's a reason we can't do this. I think that's very important when looking at player feedback. We try and be very thorough with that process. That's what makes it Final Fantasy XIV, and my own policy with the communication between the development team and community. Through that dialogue that allows us to have a good relationship.
That's fair. I mean, what other games have very regular live streams of what's upcoming and then all these different festivals
I guess.
and stuff?
Yeah, Warframe is very good at community stuff. But
is it?
Yeah.
That's good.
They have like streaming stuff too.
Yeah. But there are very few of them. There are very few that are this close to their community.
I appreciate the explanations, even if I don't
agree
with the reasoning.
Yeah. I don't think people understand how lucky we are in that sense.
Yeah.
Like, because we're
He's
so
completely
used to it.
transparent about something.
Yeah. It's gonna be sad when this game ends and we have to deal like you're just thrown into the rest of the world and you're like, oh god, there's where's the director? Where's the director for this game?
You have to go back to Age of Wushu.
I think that will be over by then as well, Ronald.
Yeah.
It's over
often
already.
get to hear a director talk about the problems with developing the way that Yoshi-P has in both the documentary and also in the Square Enix interviews they had on the website.
Yeah.
It's nice. I wish more developers would just attempt to be transparent sometimes with like decision making and stuff.
Yeah.
Even though you gotta admit, even when people explain, when developers explain their reasoning for stuff, people just don't understand. They'll just get upset or they'll say weird stuff about it.
In terms of so this is the one about the visuals. In terms of the visuals of Final Fantasy XIV, and the only reason I think of this is that World of Warcraft Classic just came out. It sounds crazy to say. No, it's
out now, isn't it?
It's out in August.
Is that in
August? Right. The beta's been out for a while.
It's a beta.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy to say, but Final Fantasy XIV is getting older now. Has the team ever thought of upgrading the visuals? Is that an issue that you feel like you'll have to address in the future?
That's a fair question.
Yes, it is. Because think about it. I mean, even if we don't count...
The game's semi-realistic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. The reason it survived... Because, I mean, 14 looks good. Like, I think we can just say
yeah, it does look good.
It's like stylized.
Because they haven't
It's stylized in some way.
Yeah, they haven't gone for
it's
that
the
black
anime aesthetic
desert.
of Final Fantasy games.
Yes, but it has like this, half cartoonish.
It does have a semi-realistic look, though. And we know realistic games usually age poorly.
Yes.
Like
Age of Wushu.
Age of Wushu and Black Desert Online, which
but
I think the biggest way, the most like the easiest way to tell that ages faster than the style we have in 14 is that it already has a remaster.
Has a remaster of it, so yeah. But then on the flip side, games that are very stylized, like WoW, love it or loathe it, the art style, it holds up now because of the updated textures and stuff.
Yes. I feel like if they... Well, let's just read what he says. Of course, I understand that with the different MMORPGs, some of them have become old. We see many titles that have released in the past and some that reflect the graphics depiction in sort of updated ways as time goes. I'm sure people do want to see the graphical quality improve in the game. I totally understand that. From that perspective, yes, we would love to eventually update the graphics so we can continue to claim that Final Fantasy XIV has world-class graphics while being an MMORPG. The simple answer is, yes, there's always that desire. That being said, there are two major issues with it. Even now, we strive to have high-quality visuals. It is very detailed, very vivid. We made sure the quality is already high. When we think of rendering this to still look beautiful on a 4K monitor, making sure that the texture doesn't become degraded, adding more polygons in our models, of course, it's not impossible to do, but we currently have a patch upgrade cycle. We release a major patch or update every 3.5 months or so, and all of the gear we design and the content we build is part of that cycle. It is quite aggressive even now, so if we add on top of that, the workflow for making our graphics depiction advanced will add to the cost that is required. We would have to add to the workflow as well, and not just cost in terms of bandwidth, time as well. It's not a matter of just adding additional people who can resolve this issue. It's quite a tough predicament. If we were to start considering upgrading the graphics into our normal development schedule, I'd be very worried about our cycle. The other issue is that the machines the players use. People play on PC and PS4. With PS4, we are already seeing our next generation on the horizon. We may be able to accommodate those. With PC machines, once we raise the quality of the graphics, some people might not be able to update their PCs to meet the requirements of that graphical depiction. Of course, we do allow players to change the configuration and cut out some of the options, so we may accommodate a wide range of devices. By raising the quality a bit higher, we may unintentionally exclude people by having such an increased quality. But you just said that you could just set the game to low. I say, as if it's that easy. Just set it to low. That's easy. Which is completely defeating the purpose. We want people to enjoy the game. We can't plan for it on a whim. We have to be very meticulous. We have to make detailed plans for it, including how are we going to set up our workflow? How are we going to have our pipeline set up? How are we going to code based the deadlines we passed?
Based on the deadlines
we need to meet. How do we create a pipeline to make a massive amount of assets in the game? Of course, I'd love to be able to upgrade the graphics at some point, but it will require a lot of planning. We're exhausted from Shadowbringers, so we want to launch that, and maybe then we'll consider our options.
It's obviously not a pressing issue at the moment, but I'd say maybe sort of in the next few years it is something they should start considering if they want it to last another, 10 years.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, it's definitely something they are aware of, and he wants to do.
Yeah.
So, given enough to, it just sounds like to him, it's not the right time yet. The graphics are still holding up, and I think that's true. The only thing that's jarring is the textures.
Yeah,
I kind of don't really expect a major graphical update until maybe after the next expansion.
Yeah.
I think finishing up this arc and then having a break to work on the engine and graphics would be fine by me.
It would be the perfect sort of kickstart of a new era.
Yeah, exactly.
Freshen up everything. But imagine just how much work it is. Like, all of the stuff, like, if they were to change, like, textures and shit. Like, imagine how many textures there are in the game. Like, everything has to be...
Yeah.
How do they even do that?
All those pictures of sand they uploaded into the game.
Well, that's something they did for the Shadowbringers stones, right? You can really see it in Amarang. The ground there is like just a picture. It's like a PNG.
They went to Saudi Arabia. They looked at the ground, took a picture of it, and then
that's not
somewhere in Amarang.
Yeah.
It's things like if you're flying through Dravania or any zone with cliffs and you look far away and you see the repeated cliff texture, that brown repeated
I think it's a similar problem in caves.
Yeah.
Some textures just look really obviously repeated.
It's so strange to me because I know we talked about it before and he answered, it's like, well, why don't we have higher res textures even as like an option at the least, which you can't force it on people. You wouldn't have to. I don't know why he says that. Like, you can always just make it an option. I'm not saying it's super easy, but...
Because some games, like, I think Skyrim, when it came out, or some games have, like, HD texture packs. Yeah. That just means you have, like, an additional 50 gig download or something horrible, but it's there. It's an option, and then you can turn it on and off.
Yeah.
So if you want, just make the game file bigger for those people.
Yeah.
But it was weird, because remember when he said, like, why we can't have bigger textures because the original textures are at 256 by 256.
Yeah.
And it's like, what happened? I'm still wondering what happened. Are you lying?
8 by 8.
Are you lying, or did you just like, okay, we're gonna make the texture this, we're gonna draw it on the canvas this small, or even worse, we're gonna draw it on like a big canvas, like 3,000 by 3,000, shrink it down to 256 by 256, and then save it as that, and throw away the source.
Throw away the source.
It's like, what happened?
Yeah.
Because if that's the reason, that I'm sorry, you have a really bad pipeline there.
Yeah, that isn't a good.
I mean, there was a lot of chaos back then.
There was a lot of chaos.
Delete all the originals. Delete all the originals.
Sure. Don't save the original barrel. For the love of God,
it was just like a fire in the yard. They threw the hard drives in the fire.
Get rid of it! From 1.0. Get rid of it!
We are talking about Square Enix. This is a company that continuously just fucking deletes the masters for everything they have.
Remember, they lost the original Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, they lost Final Fantasy VIII as well. Like they
what? Most of them. And nine's
Yeah, what happened
source
to the...
textures.
This is a little off topic. What happened to the backgrounds in
the
9?
pre-renders
for the
in 9, they're
Did
gone,
they have
aren't
to
they?
remake them? Isn't that
I
what
think
they
they
did? 'Cause
remade them for the remake.
Yeah, they lost all of that too. So this isn't a weird... yeah, it was IDOS that had a backup from the PC
IDOS.
port.
Oh!
So they had to contact IDOS and be like,
IDOS Montreal?
yeah, we lost our master file for 8. Can we get yours?
No problem, bro.
Now, but why did IDOS have it in the first place?
They made the PC
They
port.
made it.
Yeah.
Back then?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They
kept it.
I'm pretty sure if you load up 8 PS1 edition, it'll still say IDOS.
It does, because that is the yeah. So there you go.
They made they worked on that game.
Yes. You're right in the chat. I would love better aliasing, anti-aliasing, because FXAA.
It's not enough.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Please, at least MSAA or something.
Yeah.
I'm really tired of this blur. I don't know how hard that is. I'm not gonna say it's easy or anything.
I'm sure that engine
nice.
is capable of a lot, because this is a branch of the Luminous. It's a custom branch of the Luminous engine, so it can do more. I think. They just need to work on it.
It can look very nice if it wanted to.
Yeah, I think so. Right.
No more FXAA.
No, stop with that. No, don't stop. You can keep it in the game, but add
just add additional
yeah
anti-aliasing options.
Yeah.
And add in NVIDIA Hairworks. Why not?
Sure. Why not? Just put that in there. I'm sure that's not going to fuck anything up. Yeah.
Yeah, put RTX in. Come on.
Yeah.
I need real-time ray tracing.
Okay. Moving on. Final Fantasy XIV has had many collaborations with other games. We're going a little over time, but we'll just... Okay. We don't have anything really planned for the post-show anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No, Georgi just has a question, so it's fine.
Yeah, we'll say, Final Fantasy XIV has had many collaborations with other games from the series. Can you hint at or talk a little bit about anything coming down the pipeline that might involve Final Fantasy VII Remake?
There's nothing coming down the pipeline. We've learned that.
No, well...
Did they mean the bar yet?
Just the shreds of previous PNGs that they've ripped up.
I'm a very big fan of Final Fantasy, and my favorites are 3 and 7.
Do they mean 3 or do they mean 6?
Exactly.
That's a good... I think he's Japanese.
He's Japanese, so it's 3. Right, it's 3.
Yeah.
It would be amazing to have an opportunity. Oh, okay. That being said, whether or not we should approach the 7 team to talk about doing a crossover or collaboration is not something we want to do at this point. He said this before, only because I'm sure everybody desires this, but we want Final Fantasy VII Remake to come out as planned on March 3rd at the highest quality possible. If we were to approach the team after I make a plan for some sort of collaboration, it would burden them, so to speak. The team would need to review the plans, and once we decide to move forward, the 14 team would create, say, a model of Cloud to represent in the game, but we'd have to show it to the remake team for them to review, which would take away from their time.
Imagine if they showed them their hairstyle and then the remake team was like, no, not it needs to be more accurate.
If we wrote Poly Cloud.
Yeah, and they're like, actually, you're going to need NVIDIA Hairworks for this.
Thank God for that.
If we wrote a story, we'd have to draft the text and then translate it. Then it would require them to review it and make sure everything checks out. Doing the work on our side is not an issue, but we're worried about burdening and taking away from the time and resources the Final Fantasy VII Remake team has on their work. I think it would be unfair to do so, since it's taking away from their cost and bandwidth in providing a very polished game. I feel that approaching the team right now to make that sort of request is going to take away from what the fans are hoping to see. Yes, we get it. He doesn't want to burden the 7 remake team. Okay. For every expansion... also, he did say that maybe after release, but he did say that last time. For every expansion you guys do, how do you prepare for new players looking to try it out? Is Shadowbringers a good place for newcomers to jump in? Yoshida says that thinking actually doesn't just apply to launches of expansions. Actually, to launches of expansion. Actually, we continue to market and promote the game constantly. We continue to see new players joining us. We surpassed record numbers that we're bringing into the game even before we launched Shadowbringers. 1 million. We always need to think about players joining us. With each patch update, we're very mindful of those people who may have hesitation in joining an MMORPG midway, so to speak.
That's fair.
Yeah, that is the problem of MMOs. The older it gets, the
more you've missed out on.
Yeah, exactly. We do have a massive amount of content, and it's a relatively long-running MMORPG. People might worry that
relatively. These days, that's huge.
That is, yeah, that's true. People might worry that there's just too much to play through, or it's too complicated. With each sort of update that we make sure players eliminate that hesitation, and that it's no different from any other Final Fantasy title. As long as you're following along with the main storyline, you will catch up before you know it with those playing the latest content. We look at the existing content and make adjustments accordingly, so that everyone may make progress accordingly. We do this constantly. With Shadowbringers, there will be an influx, so it does allow for you to jump in that way, because we have many additional players coming in who are at a similar starting point as you. There are more people you can team up with on different things. People get to play the newest content in the game, so friends can invite other friends to join. We're doing a lot of promotions and different activities, discounting previous expansions, so everyone can jump into the game even quicker. We try to make too much gluten. We try to make sure that the game itself and the promotional activities allow players to jump in anytime and catch up with the latest content fairly smoothly. We take that as something that's very important. There you go. And then, is this the last question? Yes. When do you know that an expansion is ready versus a large content update or patch? How long after Heavensward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers did you start developing the next big expansion? Are there different teams that do that? That's an interesting question. Like, when do you know that that's it? Speaking from an overall perspective, we don't divide up the team when planning for an expansion. The initial sort of work that's done on each expansion is done alone. I work on it by myself. For example...
in his hotel room where he locks himself in.
Yeah. For example, from Stormblood to Shadowbringers. Stormblood was released on June 28th, 2017, and from there the process of creating the sort of base design for Shadowbringers, or 5.0 expansion, actually started in late August of 2017. Oh, and that was done by me. That's very early.
Okay, gotta plan far ahead.
That's true. After that, the base design is created, so we take the developers, so like leads of battle systems, game designers, content designers, main scenario writers, and I make a presentation of what I'm thinking for the next expansion. What kind of world the adventures take place in, what jobs, gameplay experiences do we want. We deliberate, then agree once it's in a good state. By late September, I write the script for the launch trailer. The overall narrative is sort of finalized by that point.
Wow.
Up until around April of 2018, nobody worked on anything expansion related at that point. We may ask our visual team to start working on the trailer footage, but other than that, we continue on our other tasks.
I assume he means the
visual works.
Yeah.
Once April hit, we sort of started a story boot camp with our main scenario writers. We plotted out the final patches of Stormblood, 4.4, 4.5, and then 5.0 is the expansion. After the plot has been written out, the following month of May, we have our leads, or partial members of the level design and environment design, discuss the field and world ideas for Shadowbringers. We request concept art and start moving on scenery designs and whatnot. During this time, we're also working on patch 4.x series in parallel, but we're assigning more and more people gradually on the expansion. Patch update work is being done at the same time. By October of 2018, we see about 80% of the developers doing tasks related to the expansion, while the rest are working on patches. That must be like...
Yeah, imagine being one of the people who are still on
Stormblood. Yeah.
20% only.
Yeah. That explains some of the mediocre events that we got again, for that last part of Stormblood.
The maintenance crew.
Yeah. By January 2019, most, if not all, of the people had moved to tasks related to the expansion. We then ramp up to finalizing the master build. That's kind of a rough schedule of an expansion. That means today is June. This was it's dated.
This was an
June,
old interview.
Yeah, well, it was released on the 13th. So it's very strange. That means today, it's exactly a month ago when this was released. When this was conducted. That means today is June 13th, 2019. So in about a month and a half, I'll need to start thinking about the game design of the next expansion. Probably. There you go.
Well, there you go. That's pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah.
So he thinks of like the concept stage seems really big. Like, I mean, they only really do the main work on the game during the last half a year.
I want to see what the Yoshi-P initial concepts are for an expansion. And how they condense down into an actual
big enemy question mark
on a board.
Yeah.
Little stick man.
Yeah.
with a Dark Knight sword.
Yeah.
He's on a big battle.
Pixies question mark?
Yeah. Right, that's the interview from DualShockers. I promised Mogmail and Mogmail we will have.
Just do it. Just come to the post show.
But before
do the second one.
But before what? Do the second one
of the Mogmail.
No, I do them both.
Well, I'm doing both.
Oh, okay.
If this might turn into an XL episode, so be it. We'll just have a super short post show. We have to pull.
We only have to asking a question.
Yeah, it's gonna be a super short.
Stop bringing that up. It's not that exciting.
Prog mail. So we have to pull our minimum high level dungeon first. I'm doing it. I know that we usually do this at the end. Let's do this at the end.
Okay. Let's do Mogmail.
Let's do Mogmail. Do we play the intro?
Yes, play the intro.
Okay.
All right.
Shit. How does this work? Okay, you didn't get mail in-game. That was just us. Okay, our first Mogmail is coming in here. It's from Biscuitness. Oh my biscuit. From Zalera. With Shadowbringers releasing to generally positive reception from the story zones and most of the job changes, do you feel any disappointment there aren't any major new systems? We got some new jobs, but the flow of the game and its systems are pretty much the same, and so far it doesn't look like there are any major systems to come. Perhaps Ishgard stuff, but there may be a rehash of other content to some degree. Degree. Looking at WoW, this has been a constant with the new expansions. A totally new system to play alongside with new content, example, not side content, while the reception of the systems aren't great. Seriously, Blizzard releases busted... Oh,
we lost Mela.
Busted systems each expansion and ditched them the next. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers feels overly safe. I want your take on that. Milo's just out. He just did not want to discuss this one. He's done.
Oh, he blue screened.
Oh, he'll be back.
Kevin.
Right. Haven't really thought about the lack of new systems, but we got
the
trust
system is new,
and the crystalline, the crystalline mean. I get. Well, it's a it's a
glorified custom delivery, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
But it's got a more involving story, perhaps. I feel like, but I've only really done one of the facets, so it might. I don't know.
Role quests or something too.
Role quests, yeah.
Role quests are interesting, but they are just a means of cutting down on class quests.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I haven't done my fucking job quest.
Oh.
On your white mage?
Yeah.
Go talk to your little Jala
I need a reminder, like a ding, because it's so disconnected from.
Well, make sure you've done it by next week.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna make a reminder.
Okay.
I'll do it after the show, probably. Okay. Yes. Sorry.
I don't think, because like I said, how WoW does it. There's like new systems all the time, and if they're great, maybe they stick around. If they're not, they're just abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, the experimentation is nice.
Yeah.
But I think I'm okay with the rate of experimentation that 14 does with stuff like Deep Dungeon, what was it called?
Eureka?
Diadem. Yeah, Diadem, Eureka. I guess treasure maps aren't exactly new.
There it
but
is.
With the what's it called?
Hello?
The temples.
Hello?
Oh.
The temples?
The maps.
temples?
Portals.
For
Portals. Maps.
maps. Yeah.
Treasure map portal.
Yeah. Sorry. That. I'm fine with that stuff.
Yeah.
slowly
We are going to get New
introduced.
Game Plus as well, and farms,
Yeah.
apparently.
What's going on?
What we're reading the Mog Mail. Mog Mail number
Okay.
1.
Sorry, blue screen.
We know. I feel like they shouldn't. It's important they don't add systems just for the sake of adding new systems, because then you'll end up with like broken systems that no one wants to use.
I'm kind
Diadem.
of fine with them not adding like major systems with expansions and then leaving those for patches, because during expansions you want to focus on the story, or you want to focus on leveling, that things that like you already are aware of or comfortable with.
Yeah.
Like, what if they added like water combat in Stormblood?
Oh, good lord!
And that was a big feature.
Yeah.
and it sucked.
Yeah.
But maybe they felt like they have to include it in Shadowbringers or something like that. I'm like,
yeah.
I understand that 14 does kind of stick to its mold for the most part, but I do think, especially with Shadowbringers specifically, it has broken the mold a bit enough.
Yeah.
But it is still within, like, it's given us the high quality content we're used to.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that was kind of the problem with Stormblood for me, is that it was a little bit like more of the same. And although they did introduce Eureka, it was
Item 3.0.
That was 3.2.
What? You're talking about? Oh no, sorry, it's Diadem.
Sorry,
Diadem
Eureka was 4.2. Sorry.
Wait, what
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Wait, what? Diadem? Did we get a diadem in Stormblood? Rollo,
No,
you've brought confusion in this land.
I was making a joke that Eureka was like Diadem, so I called it Diadem 3.0.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Eureka is better than Diadem.
Eureka is better than Diadem.
I don't think that's a controversial opinion.
Least
even
Eureka,
for people that don't like Eureka.
At least Eureka worked. Diadem did not work at all.
Well, I question how much Eureka worked. I feel as if it was forced to work because they attached something desirable to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I think.
Yeah.
I think I would have been. We're getting into Eureka, but I think Eureka started working around Pyros properly.
Yeah. Pagos destroyed Eureka. Remember the player retention
graph
chart? Yeah. To show the graph, and it was, there was a slight there was a nice curve for Animos, but then Pagos was released and it just fucking dropped. And after
stayed
that
down forever.
Did we ever talk about that? The Diadem numbers? Sorry, not the Diadem, the Eureka numbers?
No, we didn't.
We
should talk about that one day. When we can have a post-mortem on Eureka one day.
Yeah.
It was very obvious that Pagos was what killed the system, because after Pagos, the retention was way higher. It did have a drop off, but it was way lower than Pagos.
To bring in WoW into this question, as it's mentioned in it. So, for example, in the Draenor expansion, they added in the Garrison.
Yeah.
And then once that expansion finished, they nerfed it into the ground, so you couldn't profit from it anymore.
Right.
And then they brought in Legion, where they added in the relic weapons, artifact weapons, whatever they were.
Yeah.
And then you spent 2 years having this cool weapon that you'd unlock glamours for, and that's the only weapon you had.
Yeah.
And then next expansion is gone. And now you've got in this pendant in the current one, which you increase the item level for.
Yeah.
And then next expansion, that's going to go. I would argue that dropping content like that is worse than not having it in the first place. So I would rather 14 be fairly predictable, but good, and always be increasing in quality as we've seen it has done, than bringing in, say, like Rollo said, underwater combat for Shadowbringers or Stormblood, and then it's gone for Shadowbringers onwards.
So are you saying they should have kept updating Lords of Verminion?
To be honest, if they could have brought it into a state where it's actually fun to play, yes.
I think sometimes, though, they should just realize when they've made a mistake and move on, like they did with Lord of Verminion.
Yeah, you can just cut your losses sometimes.
Yeah.
As long as they don't remove the system, as long as it's still there for
it's
people
still there. Yeah,
fine.
it's not been nerfed or anything. It's there as it was, and it's still being updated, by the way. The minions are still getting stats and attacks. So,
like, we are getting a new diadem, but the old diadem is still...
The old diadem they left behind, but they tried to update it once, and they're doing it again. So they're trying to keep it, to repair it or make it playable.
As soon as diadem 3.0, sorry chat, it's been done twice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But add in Glamour Dresser from WoW.
It's unrelated, but sure.
Yes.
If you're going to add in any new systems,
it's not a dresser in WoW. It's just a book.
Just a
collection.
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 Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Biscuit, for that.
Zalera. Everyone from the Zalera.
Yeah, this is a Zalera heavy thing, because the next one is from Windows Sapphire.
Windwolf.
Yes, Zalera. If you were to turn into a Sin Eater, what would your Sin Eater name and form be? Examples are Forgiven Malice, Forgiven Cowardice, etc.
Gosh.
I know.
Oh.
Are these like for our characters, I guess?
I'm assuming, or is it our
Well, I was talking about. I was playing it to myself.
Yeah. Oh, okay. If I do it for myself, it's
let's just do the funny one first. Forgiven Fart. Forgiven. Forgiven.
I mean, Rollo would
urinating in public.
Forgiven incorrect breakfasts for these bottom two.
Yeah, yeah. Forgiven pork chop for breakfast. Forgiven chocolate for breakfast.
Yeah.
Forgiven Terrible Willy names. Wonka lifestyle.
Yeah. What would that even look like?
I don't know.
Yeah, Liqueur was forgiven Stump Pooper. He would become a giant white treant.
With like poop coming out of my mouth.
Rollo's forgiven Glutton because of his popcorn obsession.
Yeah. I love popcorn. Sorry, dude. I just can't help it.
It's so genuine. I love popcorn.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. I can't help it.
I can guarantee if you went to Rollo's house, you would be able to find like a discarded bit of popcorn just like behind something or underneath something.
No, not right now.
There's definitely loose popcorn there somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my character though. I think I'd rather do that. I'm gonna do Forgiven Despair or Forgiven Despondence. I'll go with that.
Ooh.
What was the second one?
Despondent. Maybe you could have like a little like hands on the face crying kind of scene.
Forgiven Weeb. Forgiven Weeb.
Forgiven Weeb.
What? For you? You're the weeb?
No, for you.
No, you.
Why me?
Why not? Why not?
I'm bullied.
I can't come up with anything right now.
I don't know, my character's just got a permanent like angry face.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Disdain.
Yeah, Forgiven Disdain.
You know what? I'll think of one for you, Kiel. Hold on.
Forgiven.
Forgiven apathy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it is. Forgiven apathy.
Forgiven AFK.
Forgiven AFK.
Forgiven anti-socialness.
There you go. There you go.
Forgiven fixation. For your fixation on 1.0.
Okay.
Forgiven nostalgia. Okay, well, thank you, Window. I'm sure one of those names are canon.
Why do we keep calling them Window?
Because
that's
they
name.
wrote to me in their character's name. I will reply back with their character name, Rollo. It's the law.
Okay.
You know who you are.
I think it's a joke. It's not a.
Is it not? Is it a joke?
Oh, okay. I thought it was Widow. I thought it was Widow the entire time.
No, it's Window.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
I thought we were jokingly calling them Window.
Have you not looked at their name on the Discord? It's Lady Window.
I thought it was a joke. Like someone
Don't
called
worry
him
about it,
Lady,
Winwolf.
Don't
Lady
worry,
Window.
Winwolf.
Don't worry, Winwolves. The rest of us pay attention.
Yeah, we know.
We'll reprimand
Don't
him after
worry,
the show.
I'm sorry.
we're the good people here. We'll always
We'll have a meeting
wrong.
after this. We haven't actually drawn.
Oh yeah, what did we get?
I brought it up and
What you
everything.
picked up?
You did.
You made me blue screen by picking that up. Don't do it again.
Okay, well, here we go.
Ah!
It's our Star Shahad.
Orangvale.
Oh god, I don't even know what have we done? Just two.
No-
Skarn and-
oh my
We've done
god,
4.
it's the Orangvale. What the fuck? You can't even.
You joking?
Oh, the exposure.
Oh my goodness.
Why is
I
Why
can't
is-
read it. Yeah.
he's lying to us? He's turned
He's
the
lying.
exposure- Yeah,
Let me turn off.
he's
some
lying,
lights.
guys.
There, you can.
Oh, it almost appeared then.
The Orangvale.
Almost. Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
You can sort of see it.
Yeah, it kind of.
The
Oh.
Orangvale. Hey!
God's sake.
I'm a spooky now. Thank you guys for watching.
Wheel of Doom.
A Wheel of Doom. Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, spin the wheel.
Okay, let me just turn everything. Okay, we're fine. Yes, Wheel of Doom.
Oh my
Okay.
god! Come on, Blastoise run.
What does that even mean? We don't even know
We
what it
don't
means.
even have the skills for it yet, mate.
Well, we haven't made the build. We will
Yeah.
make the build on stream if we get
Yeah,
it.
it will just be water spout or whatever the first thing
Yeah.
is. Water cannon.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, that one again.
Already did that one.
Maybe it'll be better in Orangvale though.
Maybe. Oh my god, we got
Oh, we didn't even
Orangvale.
win last time, so.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that was a failure. But I think we've come
No.
up with a solution.
Yeah.
And it is
The
that
solution's very fun, and it
we'll
could work in this dungeon.
have a healer.
No.
What?
We
What
don't
was,
What was
need
your
one.
solution?
what was your solution, Mela?
Well, there's no bosses that have multiple parts in this one, is there? So we can just do the
We need a
tail
healer.
Well, I was
spin.
saying we need.
We need at least
I was
one
saying
person
we-
with a healing spell. I
Spin
think.
Honestly,
to win,
I-
guys. Spin to win.
I think the tank should be the healer
Yeah.
because that generates aggro and like their HP goes
I
down.
don't think the
Heal
tank
isn't that
should be
good.
because if they get too low, it's too hard to heal because of how
Well,
healing
that's
works.
true.
Yeah, so that's part of the challenge though. It's like okay, I can't get too low
No,
health.
I think that's silly.
We will sort that out tomorrow.
We'll sort it out tomorrow.
Stay tuned.
We got
Don't stay
post show.
tuned.
Joey's got a question in the post
Yes,
show.
we will see you in the poster if you're watching live. Thank you for watching this episode of Speakers of Paladin. Remember to follow us on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfPaladin, YouTube.com/SpeakersXIV, exclamation Discord if you're watching live to rejoin our Discord server. If you're watching on demand or listening, links in the description. Send us mogmail, speakersxiv.com/mogmail. We'll actually read it now. And if you're watching live, exclamation mogmail to just get the link in chat. Okay, we'll see you in the poster if you're watching live.
Bye.
Bye!
Don't go to Area 51.
No.